A stall blocking a lane as you travel East 94 on the St. Croix River Bridge. Keep to the left or to the right as you make way through the area, and get ready for your slowdowns as you approach Highway 95. Traveling 35 east southbound, slowdowns in place already for the afternoon as you make way past Randolph and South 35W jammed up across the Minnesota River Bridge. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn-McCreevy invites you to a free seminar for pre-planning your funeral and cremation services to help protect your family in the future. Enjoy food, visit with speakers from the Bloomington Chapel Thursday, August 13th, 11:30 a.m. at Cowboy Jack's Bloomington. Information at washburnmccreevy.com. Seating limited. 612-377-7841.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Washburn-McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We are in for another warm and humid summery night. Mostly cloudy, only falling back to 70. Plenty of sunshine again tomorrow. Just a few clouds with a high of 86. Still muggy out there. It will be less humid on Thursday. Perhaps a few isolated showers overnight into Thursday morning. Then decreasing clouds with a high near 83.
Cloudy, humid right now, 85. At News Talk 830 WCCO.
If it matters there, it's heard here. News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
Well, it's primary election day, and so what did we do? We went to Target Field. Enough with all. I voted. Today we'll talk a little bit more about that as the show goes on, and hopefully if you are passionate about these candidates, you're out there voting. Big news happening today in the sports world. The Minnesota Vikings have selected their QB1, and no surprise there. So all things that we'll talk about as Drive Time with DeRusha happens here at Target Field. But this is a fun time to be a Twins fan. It's a fun time to be in downtown Minneapolis. And I will guess that it's more fun to be the general manager of the Minnesota Twins this year at the trade deadline than it was last year for Jeremy Zoll, who joins us off the top here on Drive Time. Jeremy, it's good to see you.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Better this year, I imagine, yes?
Yeah, anytime you're in a position to be buyers and can execute on that, definitely more fun than the alternative.
You know, with a little time and not much time, because as always, you never quite know how these things work out until you get a good month in, right? But how are you feeling about what you guys were able to do this year?
Yeah, we feel really good about it. We set out some clear goals of wanting to improve the bullpen and reinforce our starting pitching depth, and feel like we got one of the best right-handed relievers that actually got moved this year in Jeff Hoffman, and have control of him for next year as well. And one of the best lefty relievers that got moved in AJ Minter. Have seen them over the last week and helping us in some key leverage spots and really lengthening out the bullpen for Shelty. And then Dean Kramer obviously pitched great last night against his former team, but to be able to add him in as someone that's pitched a lot in the AL East and accumulate a lot of innings, and just to really fortify the rotation as we try to make this final push. I feel like we came out of it in a really good spot, all told.
You mentioned Dean Kramer, and last night I think we got to see what he's capable of. I think so far what we've seen from him makes you feel like, all right, this was a good pickup.
Yeah, absolutely. The first two outings have he's done a great job. You know, I know he had a couple clunkers before we acquired him. Had been working his way back from the quad strain. And his strikeout and walk numbers still looked like they were, in a spot that they've been over the last number of years. His stuff looked like it had in the past. So we felt really good that he was going to be this bounce back candidate, and felt like we could get him going in short order. And that's obviously come to fruition. How
do you work through that stuff, right? Because obviously when you have a player who's available, there's this mix of a dynamic, I think. Like as a Twins fan, I've argued with some of our callers saying like, look, the Twins are going to have to give up something to get something. We as fans want to get and give nothing. I'm sure that's what you want to do too as a general manager. But when you look at a potential bounce back player, what are the factors in this particular pickup that you looked at and said like, no, I think he's just in a downturn, not in a done turn,
Yeah, a really good job by our whole group. We have a really collaborative process. There's about 30 people in our deadline room that are working through it over the course of a week's worth of meetings. We're there all day, every day for that week, and a ton of prep work over a few months really leading into that. But we're trying to evaluate some under the hood numbers. I already referenced things like strikeout rate and walk rate, but also, is there stuff trending up? Is it trending down? Are there things that we see that we could make adjustments with, whether that's pitch usage or mechanically? So you're trying to piece all that information together and then figure out how quickly do we think we could implement that? Do we think it's just bad luck in certain situations? So there's a lot of different considerations, and Dean checked a number of those boxes as we were trying to figure out who could fit in to help us here for the stretch run.
Jeremy Zoll is with us, the general manager of the Minnesota Twins. It's been a different vibe this year, right? And some of this, of course, is an ownership change and really a change in communication style, perhaps telling fans, look, we get that when we kind of traded away so much of the team and we didn't add the payroll, we sent a message and we screwed up and we received that. The poll ads have come forward and said, we're not just buyers at the trade deadline. We want to continue investing, not just next year in the payroll, but that he's willing to spend more this season if the right thing comes up. What does that look like for you? How does that change what you guys are talking about?
Yeah, it was really helpful being able to navigate trade deadline conversations, knowing that we had payroll flexibility. In certain years where if a team doesn't have that flexibility, then you're kind of at the mercy of waiting for guys that are falling through or that have cheaper contracts or that teams are willing to pay down. And we were able to assess the full array of options, knowing we were going to be able to add payroll. And depending on if you're looking at absolute dollars or percentage of payroll, we were up there at the deadline with adding, one of the most in those regards. And it's really helpful. And the support from Tom, the ownership group, and being in lockstep there as we try to make this final push was really productive.
When you look at the play of the team, when you're a 500 ball club, and it's not just the Twins, I was looking at all of the standings in the American League right now, and it's essentially a 500 league when you look outside of a couple of teams. How do you decide, like, all right, how all in are we going to go? Because is it worth? It's not worth giving up an amazing prospect to play one playoff game, is it?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time working through, the I guess full array of, decision making criteria that,
like imagine if you had an algorithm. All right, if we give up like two key prospects, our probability of winning a playoff series goes up X%. Do you do that sort of stuff?
We have some tools along those lines. Yeah. So, and they're tricky because every day the playoff odds are changing, especially when things are this close. And, if injuries are happening, you're trying to.
So that's part of the decision.
But, we're working through all of that stuff for sure. And, I think we were in an advantageous spot this year that we felt clear on our direction to proceed forward with a buy strategy where there were a number of teams that were either really trying to wait until the end. You had some teams going some crazy hot streaks or cold streaks in that, final 10, 7, and 3 days leading into the deadline. And we felt clear on we wanted to push forward. Tom said from the beginning, and we've echoed this throughout the year, our goal is to play meaningful games in September. The team put us in a spot where that we have every chance to make that a reality and wanted to execute on that at the deadline. So we felt clear on our direction. Then it was a matter of assessing all of the options that we could for, who we can acquire, who's actually going to be moved. And then you're weighing different considerations like, is the player a rental? Does he have 1 year of one more year of control or multiple years of control? And all of that factors into, that cost benefit analysis.
Interesting. Jeremy Zoll is with us. The analytics, they go that deep, right? That you're running, whether it's, and at a certain point you have to decide, all right, you can statistics yourself to death. There has to be some gut level, like, yep, we're going to pull the trigger on this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about that. We'll do surveys with our group. We're trying to get different perspectives, weigh a whole host of different things.
How many people are around the table? Everybody's in the room, or
we had a room of about 30 people here, the community fund boardroom up on the suite level there. We were locked in there for a week, and really value getting a whole host of different perspectives. But yes, at the end of the day, sometimes we make calls where they're against consensus or they aren't unanimous, and ultimately that comes down to me making the final call in conjunction with Tom to figure out what we want to do, and we're just trying to make the best decisions we can.
Jeremy Zoll is with us, and sometimes you have a situation where you greenlight a trade and then the other owner pulls the plug on it, and that's awkward, but part of this process, right?
Yeah, making trades is complicated. You spend all this time trying to align on the valuations, and you got to get through medicals, you got to have ownership on board. There's a lot of different steps along the way. A lot of that stuff usually doesn't end up making it into the public sphere. Sometimes
How
it
did
does.
that get out?
Great question. Great question. I don't have an answer for you.
You
on
wish
that
it
one.
didn't, right?
For sure.
Because players are humans too, and to have to log onto the internet and read like a legit report that you were being traded. Our guy responded with a home run. So
he homered the next 2 days. No, Trev handled it
amazing
great.
in it.
He handled it great. We caught up in Kansas City the day after the deadline, and handled it like a total pro. I know how stressful it is for all of the guys when their names are being mentioned in rumors. We just talked about the reality of like you're playing really good, and that means people want you. And ultimately, given the way that went down, we decided in assessing the rest of the options, we wanted you here and be a part of it, and he handled it. Couldn't ask for him to handle it any better. Then you see all of the the rumors that end up bleeding out over those final days, many of which are not true. And I told him, I told him as much when it says Astros are still on Trevor Larnach on Mondays. Well, we're not talking to them. So
this is not true.
So there are some things that are true, some things that are not true, and that can make it complicated.
Do you have to manage that more? Obviously there's so much reporting and there's so much BS out there, intentional lie peddlers on social media. But players are human, and you start, if it were my name in these sorts of things, I would be worried about it too.
Yeah, for sure. Shelty did a great job did a great job and has in the past done a great job connecting with guys, trying to make sure that, you're just doing your best to put different guys at ease. But we also, you can't perfectly predict how things are going to go. Ryan Jeffers was in a ton of rumors for weeks, and we caught up also in Kansas City. And I just said, ultimately we didn't know exactly what was going to happen. I couldn't give you assurances in any direction, but you're having a great year. You're a big part of what we're doing, and want you to be a part of it. And I think ultimately they appreciate the clarity at the end of the day, but it's not lost on me how stressful that is for a week or more.
Jeremy Zoll is with us. We're talking Twins baseball live at Target Field. Twins Baltimore on CCO Radio live tonight as we see the Orioles working on their fielding, which after watching last night's game, you can understand why they're out here working on some of that. A little bit of a great game for the Twins last night, a little rocky for Baltimore. Obviously, when you're a 500 team, you're going to take 2 out of 3. You're going to lose 2 out of 3. That's sort of how this goes. I was encouraged how well our team played against Milwaukee, which is a terrific team. And yet it's still frustrating when you drop 2 both 1-run games.
No doubt. To go 2-4 against them this year, and I'm pretty sure all 4 losses were 1-run losses. You're like, man, if 1 or 2 of those went our way, it's easy to speculate on that. To your point on like being about a 500 team, like it's the reality of the ups and downs of the year, and you can really agonize over different games. But to see how the group has continued to battle, how resilient they've been, go down in a game against one of the best pitchers in the league, and come back and battle. I can go on and on about how impressive it's been throughout the year, whether it's the Dubuque airport and an hour.
Yeah, not the
off a new piece of Borovka's furniture.
It's a great way to upgrade your home with solid American-made furniture and save money at the same time.
Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 218-210-0674 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. Call 218-210-0674 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 218-210-0674 for fast, easy, and affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 218-210-0674.
Steering you through what matters. Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
It is Tuesday, Election Day, 3:25. We are live at Target Field. Dan Cook along with me, Jason DeRusha, and glad to have you here. We are streaming live on YouTube. We brought our setup here, so if you want to check us out at youtube.com/WCCO Radio, give us a subscribe there. You get a nice view of Target Field as the Orioles are warming up for the vaunted Twins Baltimore series. I don't know that a lot of people had this circled on the calendar, Dan.
Probably not, but they're important games, especially when you consider that you got Philly coming in next. They're a pretty darn good baseball team, and then the Braves after that, who are a very good baseball team. So these become important games because you're not sure how those series are going to go. This is one you definitely want to try and get. I mean, obviously two, if not all three of them, if you can. So
today is primary election day. And for the first time in my life, I voted in a primary.
I lost my I voted sticker. I'm very upset.
If you voted and you didn't get a sticker, does your vote count?
I think it counts, but I don't think it should count as much as other people's counts.
I got my sticker, and I posted on Facebook a picture of Sam, our 18-year-old, who got to vote in his very first election today. Sam was a student election judge when he was a high school kid at Maple Grove High School. And so today he got, as we were driving over and talking about the election, Sam has been, he's an 18-year-old young man. Sam's in the talking phase with a number of young women.
Oh, no.
Candidates. Yes, also candidates. Now, that would be a more entertaining election, don't you think?
Absolutely would, yeah.
Although this election has not lacked for drama, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
So Sam was talking about that, and he claimed that he knew more about elections than his mom or dad because he was an election judge.
Sounds like an 18-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He knows more than us in every way. But we've been taking him to the polling place since he was, I don't know. I found a picture of him when I think he was 3. And so it was cool to take him and have him be able to cast his first vote today. Yeah. What I wonder about, and this is what we're going to talk about next, and I want your opinion on this, because many pundits are looking at Minnesota as an example as to what is playing out all around the country. Are we going to embrace the far left? It's really a question more for the Democratic Party. I think the Republicans have sort of decided already. But in Minnesota, I don't know. Is today going to be a day for the centrist, moderate candidates? For Michelle Tafoya on the Republican side, for Angie Craig on the Democratic side, for Lisa Dameth on the Republican side? Or is today going to be the day that Minnesota sort of falls in line with what we're seeing around the country, which is that Democrats want to be closer to socialism and Republicans want to be as close to Donald Trump as they can? 651-461-9226. Do you think, not what do you want, what do you think is going to happen tonight? Is Minnesota going to go DSA, Socialist? Is Minnesota going to go MAGA, Lindell, Schwarzy? Or will the centrists have a last gasp here in Minnesota? What are you thinking? 651-461-9226. I'll tell you what I think in just a minute here on Drive Time with DeRusha.
How far can they go?
Deep right center field for Cody Clemens towards the big wall, and it's gone for a game-winning grand slam.
How many big hits are left, and how many games can they steal?
Long hold, he throws over, had him leaning, and he got it. Bingo! Pablo, that is a monstrous out.
How long can they keep surprising everybody?
Has Keishel touched him up? You bet he has. We've got a tie ball game, and the Twins just won't go away.
Only one way to find out. The stretch run happens here on your Twins flagship. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason back with you live at Target Field with a message from my friends at JH & Sons at JH & Sons Menswear. The Galleria is the place to be in Edina, and JH & Sons is second, third generation, the Halberstadt family. Their sole focus every day is creating the best retail experience for you. And that starts with the merchandise, of course. They've got incredible clothing, premium men's clothing. They scour the menswear markets in New York and in Europe to bring you the finest fabrics and the finest designs. But just having great merchandise isn't enough, is it? For me, I want great service. I want to be taken care of. I want expert advice. I want someone to say, Jason, I think this will look good on you. And maybe even more importantly, someone who will be honest and say, it's not for you, buddy. JH & Sons will take care of you. They've done that for me. And they do it time and time again. When it comes to night on the town, nice dinner, they got me hooked up. When it comes to special events like weddings or galas, the suits they have are through the roof. Go say hi to Bryce and Chuck and Dean and Alicia and tell them you hear Jason talking about them. JH & Sons. You can sign up for their VIP email list. It is jhandsons.com. But get to the Galleria, get to Edina, get to JH & Sons.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you.
Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
You know the feeling. It's 2 a.m. You're awake, running the numbers in your head. Payroll's coming. A client hasn't paid. Costs just went up. And you're thinking, how am I going to make this work? That's where LendSeek comes in.
That was me. I had payroll in 3 days and money tied up in receivables. I couldn't wait weeks for a bank. I went to LendSeek, and within minutes, I saw real funding options. They were clear, upfront, no games. By the next day, the money was in my account. Payroll went out. Crisis over.
LendSeek uses AI to match your business with the right funding, up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours.
With LendSeek, it's not just funding, it's knowing you're covered when things get tight.
If you've been in business for at least 1 year with at least $500,000 annual revenue, apply today. No upfront costs, no prepaid penalties, because in business, waiting isn't an option. Start ready, stay ready with LendSeek. Apply at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
It's working 694 northbound near 10th Street over in Oakdale. The activity off the left side. Slowdowns as you come up from I-94. Traveling 694 westbound, got your slowdowns there pretty much as you make the run between Highway 10 out to 252. 169 northbound, seeing slowdowns over the Crosstown Highway and heading up toward Benton Avenue. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
From the streets of New York to the cafes of Havana, Guys and Dolls is a high-rolling Tony Award-winning musical spectacular. I'll wager you're gonna love it and get a good bang for your buck. Guys and Dolls at Chanhassen Dinner Theaters. Snag those tickets. Visit chanhassendp.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Guys and Dolls on stage right now at chanhassendt.com. Here's Chris Schaefer.
Mostly cloudy tonight. Shouldn't see any rain as we fall back to 70. It's going to stay humid. That'll be the case tomorrow as well. Partly cloudy with a high up around 86. We finally catch a break from the humidity on Thursday. Decreasing clouds, 83 the high. Our best chance of rain looks to come in late Friday into Saturday.
It is certainly humid here at Target Field right now. Our temperature is 88. It is cloudy on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
I don't think he's funny. I don't think he's been funny for years.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Tonight, I think Minnesota tells centrists that their time is over. It's not what I want, but it is what I think is going to happen. Primary election day, still a couple hours left in the voting. And anybody who tells you they know what's going to happen tonight, they're full of it. Nobody really knows. Polling is not great. Turnout will be what it is. Maybe we'll get 17 to 22% turning out. And look, part of that is because I think a lot of us do not really feel invited to vote in the primary because the primary is a party activity. And if you don't think of yourself as a DFLer or a Republican, are you making time to go out and vote today? I was surprised, Dan, how many people I've been talking to over the last couple of days who, frankly, had no idea that there was an election day coming, did not know. They were like, well, we'll see what candidates we get. I was talking to somebody who said that to me. We'll see what candidates we get. And I'm like, you do know that, like, you get a say in that if you want. Now, I say all of this with the backdrop being that I've never voted in a primary before. And part of that is perhaps because there weren't a ton of competitive races that I was super fascinated in. Like maybe the party nominated and then everybody else dropped out. I don't know. But I do think that Minnesota is no different from the rest of the country when it comes to our politics, and especially the impatience and frustration with young people who are sick of seeing establishment politicians kind of vote their interests instead of what the people say they want. And I think there are a number of reasons for it. I'd be curious what you guys think. Andrew points out correctly, we've only had primaries for a couple of years here in Minnesota, right? Like you had caucuses.
Presidential primaries, but we've had primaries.
We've had these off years.
Statewide office primaries before, yeah.
What do you think we're going to go left? And the Republican side, the reason I'm mainly focusing on the Democrat side is because I think the Republicans have pretty much decided they are the party of Trump. And we'll see, maybe Minnesota, even the centrist Minnesota Democrat or the centrist Minnesota Republicans, Michelle Tafoya and Lisa Dameth, I don't know that anybody would say that they're centrist exactly. Frankly, I don't think anyone intellectually serious would say Angie Craig is a centrist. Jacob Fry is a centrist.
Well, everything's relative now, right?
It's all relative.
As the wings of the party move farther to their end, what a centrist becomes.
Is there any such thing as a centrist now?
Well, again, it depends on what you're saying. Centrist relative to what? What frustrates me a little bit about today and the people that weren't aware of the primary or participating in it, their ability to participate. And I get what you're saying about it being a party activity and people don't want to be associated necessarily with a party. And yet, how many people out there come November complain about not having good options, that I'm holding my nose and voting for the lesser of two evils? Why can't we get good candidates? Well, you know how you get better candidates? By participating in primaries. That's where the candidates that you're going to be voting on in November essentially are decided. It's not the endorsing conventions. those are what they are, and those give certain advantages to certain candidates.
Right.
But you still have the ability. You talked about it today. The number of people that you saw on the ballot for the various positions was more than maybe the media's been talking about, or we've seen in certain debates or news clips. Well, that's your chance. You want to vote for somebody that's outside the mainstream, they're right there on the ballot. You can do it in the primary, but people have to take the responsibility to get out there and participate.
Yeah, it's tricky. I like in Hennepin County, you get to vote for the Hennepin County attorney, which is a
nonpartisan.
Well, they say it's nonpartisan, right? But you're not declared anyway.
Right.
So you get to vote, and the top two will move on. I do like that. I feel like that's more inviting to people because, and I understand why I shouldn't be allowed to do this, and maybe we should do a specific segment on this, but I would like to vote in the Republican gubernatorial primary and the Democrat U.S. Senate primary.
Right.
So I wanted to vote, and you can't. And our friend Josh, who is producing back at the station, tried to, and you stick the thing in the machine, and it goes, and you can't do it. Right? That's what happened.
They didn't tase you or anything, did they, Josh?
No.
Okay,
I was under the impression that you could vote for one side for one thing and the other side for the other, but
no.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward having to go right back in the line and get a whole new ballot and a whole new manila folder to put it in, and I kind of just hung my head low as I walked back to the voting booth.
Texters at 651-461-9226 say specifically on the DFL side, I think moderation prevails. Minnesota has the unique backdrop of the fraud scandals, and I think that will swing voters from moving too far left. Angie Craig will win for that reason. That's a really interesting theory. I'm going to be so fascinated to see tonight. Is it the immigration issue that drives people the most? If so, well, I shouldn't say just immigration, because I think Israel and Palestine is a main driver for young Democrats. And Angie Craig loses on both of those issues to those voters. But young voters don't typically turn out in a significant number in a primary. So who knows?
You don't know, because
you gotta vote.
Then you look at the data that came out yesterday about early voting, and the number of young people that were early voting or absentee ballot voting was higher than it has been. Again, not huge numbers. I think it was less than 20%, but that was still a significant increase from previous primary elections. So it, like you said, turnout is everything when it comes to primaries, and you just don't know until you get to the end of the night tonight what turnout's going to be like.
Election judge in Mound is texting in saying, we don't know who's going to win, but I can tell you that turnout is high in our precinct.
Interesting.
Up 35% from the last midterms. In our precinct at Maple Grove, right around lunchtime, we were around voter 350 something.
I think I went, it was about 11 o'clock this morning, and I was 180.
Texters say, can you cross over party lines in the national election in November?
Yes.
Why are you restricted in the primary? So the primary is a party event. So the Republican Party is having an election today to see who their candidate should be in the general. Democrats, DFL, having an election today to see who their candidate should be. And that's why you can't cross over, because you're participating in one election or the other. Now, one interesting thing in Minnesota, if you've never voted in a primary before, you do not have to declare a party. They give you one ballot, and on one side of the ballot, on the right column, you've got the DFL. On the left column, you've got Republicans. So no one knows which party you voted in, but you can only vote in one. Obviously, in the general, you can vote all over the place for whoever you want.
Right.
Can a centrist get health care reform? Can a centrist, maybe the question is, can a centrist be pro-choice? Where are they on pro-choice? Where are they on trans right? So if you look at, I mean, I think the question is trying to, the texture is trying to get at, like, the moderates, the corporate sort of traditional politicians haven't gotten some of these issues resolved in the way that I think a lot of voters want. Gun control. Have you seen centrists get anywhere on that? Not really. Have you? So I wonder what the lasting impact is of the ongoing campaign of lying to the voters that seems to be coming from mainstream politicians. you can go way back on this, but looking at certainly the way Democrats treated Dean Phillips and the way people responded to the reaction whenever anyone dares suggest that Joe Biden maybe was a little too old and had lost his fastball. And people straight up lied to us, right? No, you should see him in closed-door meetings. He's great. No, he's not. They lied to us. They're trying to protect their own power. We have how many politicians have been hospitalized and nobody knew what was going on? So I think people at a certain point are sick of it, I think they're sick.
I don't disagree. And
so you want to try something else? You're like, well, let's try something else.
I heard that, but somebody had a great metaphor one time when they were talking about this sort of thing that said, when you get a bad haircut, the solution isn't to light your head on fire. And that's where I think some of this push to the wings is taking people. I understand doing the same thing and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So you want to try something else, but I got to think there are other options besides getting further apart, further polarized, further. I mean, if you think that Democrats haven't gotten anything done in terms of dealing with Obergefell and dealing with abortion, well, Democrats had majorities over the last 50 years several times and didn't do anything with it. If you think getting further to the left is suddenly going to get the other side to cooperate or find a way to get that done, I just don't see it. So I get the anger, I get the desire to do something else, but there's good something else, and then there's completely impractical something else, and I fear we're headed towards the impractical side of things.
Angie Craig's ICE vote has come back to haunt her, says one texter at 651 461 9226. Yeah. Now, there are a lot of rumors about, if Klobuchar wins the governorship, is she going to nominate the loser of the Angie Craig, Peggy Flanagan race? I don't know. I don't know if that is, who I guess who knows what would happen. First of all, we don't know, Klobuchar isn't guaranteed a victory. We'll see who comes out on the Republican side. But if you were Amy Klobuchar, would you do that? It's sort of like rejecting the will of the people to a certain degree. I mean,
I can see that, but my concern is more when if you're Amy Klobuchar and you're trying to be a Democratic governor to follow a Democratic governor who's very unpopular and has very much been taken the blame for the fraud problems that you've had in this state, and deservedly so in a lot of respects. If you're trying to follow him, do you want to go crony system and do something that looks predetermined, do something that looks, this is a bad word, but corrupt almost, in a sense of promising somebody a deal? Do you want to do that, or do you want to be seen as, no, we're going to do something different. I'm not going to do the same old things. And that means, sorry, whoever loses the primary today, you don't get the other spot.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think there used to be a theory where a governor, if you were going to appoint someone to fill a seat, you would appoint someone who wasn't going to run. But that is very naive. I think the correct thing to do is to put somebody in there that you think is going to then win the election. Tina Smith was appointed, and then she won an election. Like, to me, that makes more sense. Textures, the DSA and the left extreme won't get anywhere on healthcare, guns, or anything without majorities. They live in fantasy land. I don't know.
I think there's a little something to that.
Look at AOC, who was a very left candidate and has not endorsed the DSA affiliated candidates in most races. She's sort of trying to play the real politics. And I think the question is, how gifted are DSA aligned politicians? Are they able to be rabble rousers and be voices for a lot of policies that are very popular? Not with me, but they're very popular. Can they play the political game and get Democrats, mainstream Democrats, to support them? I don't know. Let's break. It's 3:49. Welcome your text and calls. Do you think we're going to end up going more left tonight, or will the centrists have their way? 651-461-9226.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Let's talk about insurance and let's talk about options. Today is a day where many of us go and vote for our option. But the number one complaint I hear about the political system is that people want more options. It's because in our regular lives, this is what we want, right? When you're deciding what TV you're going to buy, you want to know what are the 5 top brands, and let's see which one makes the most sense. Same with cars, same with everything else. I feel that way about insurance, and that's why I go to the Canopy Group. The Canopy Group has options. Oh, man. Your traditional insurance agent, they have one option. One agent, one option. The Canopy Group has 16 reputable insurance providers. Some are names you know, some maybe you don't. All of them are reliable. All of them will provide you the coverage you deserve. 800-967-3389. You can call that number, run your scenario through, and one of the professionals at the Canopy Group will get you a great price and great coverage. My coverage got better, and my insurance went down $800 the first year I reached out at thecanopygroup.com.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Summer's not over yet, and Launchpad Golf, the Meadows, is where I'm finishing it strong. It's Jason DeRusha. Launchpad Golf in Prior Lake, right across from Mystic Lake Casino Hotel. It's more than a golf entertainment venue. Come for dinner. Try some of my favorites like the Truffle Bison Burger, Wild-Caught Salmon. Plus, how about this deal? The Summer Players Card. It's just $199. Golf in a suite any weekday with 5 guests. 2 visits. Your new weekday hangout pays for itself. Book tonight at launchpadgolf.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
94 eastbound at John Ireland Boulevard, crash off the left shoulder, has you slowing back at Lexington Avenue. West 94 into Minneapolis, that slows past here on Boulevard into the tunnel. South 94, that's jammed up Plymouth Avenue into the Larry Hill Tunnel. And if you're traveling South 169, you got some slowdowns there as make routine Plymouth Avenue heading down toward Highway 7, Highway 100, southbound slow 394 to Highway 7. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
B&M Tree Services, certified arborists offering tree trimming, storm cleanup, and full tree removal with professional service at prices you can afford. Call 1-800-569-9034 or visit bnmtree.com. Trusted, professional, reliable.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast time, and it is humid. Humidity right now is 54% at Target Field. B&M Tree Service bringing us the weather forecast for the next couple days. Tonight is going to be Well, it's going to be hot if you're coming out the ballpark by first pitch. It'll be 88. By the time you leave, 82. Tomorrow, another hot one, 88. And then it cools down a bit with chances of rain Thursday through Sunday, but we'll be in the lower 80s. That should be a little nice relief because it's 87 on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
I wish you weren't right, but you are.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Live at Target Field, Drive Time with DeRusha, home of the Twins. We got Twins baseball on the air tonight. Twins in Baltimore watching the relievers, the pitchers doing some warming up. We saw Joe Ryan out there getting some throws
doing
in.
some long toss. Yeah, that was nice to see.
That is good to see indeed. And today is Twins Ticket Tuesday. We have two giveaways for you on the show today. We're doing Twins Ticket Tuesday, driven by Luther Kia Bloomington, which I was just at their showroom earlier today. I'm driving a Kia Seltos right now. Ooh. Very nice little hatchback kind of thing. Pretty cool. This week, 4-pack of tickets for next Tuesday. Twins, Braves, and it's fan appreciation night. I saw on one of the screens here. So they have discounted food and dollar hot dogs at the Hennepin Grill and Taste of Twins territory. So go to twins.com/tickets for that. And then we're giving away later Tim McGraw tickets to the Tim McGraw concert right here at Target Field.
Do a little Name That Tune. Today's Name That Tune, by the way, Lady A.
Lady A, all right.
Yes.
So fans,
Lady
keep
A
listening.
Fans keep listening.
All right, very good. It is primary election day, and people texting in. Sort of one of the storylines we're watching tonight is whether Minnesota votes for farther left candidates. So who's going to end up in the Hennepin County attorney race? Will it be more of a Mary Moriarty type? So like Cedric Frazier, or will it be more moderate, like Anders Fogh? When you think about the Senate race, will it be Peggy Flanagan? I think it will. I think that the immigration issue galvanized Democrats in a way that younger voters are going to turn out today, and urban voters are going to turn out today. And immigration and the ICE raids from this January, it's still raw, and they don't trust Angie Craig on this. And so I think that's that. It's as simple as that. We'll see if people in the suburbs and older voters and other people turn out. Maybe I'll end up being wrong. Do I want to be wrong, or do I want I don't know. Or do I want the better outcome?
I think it's just interesting to observe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a horse in the race, really. Yeah, pretty interesting. Still a couple hours to vote. Lots of texts coming in. A lot of people think Klobuchar is going to appoint the primary loser. I don't think
either.
I don't think so. I doubt it. Continental Diamond time check 3:58. Local news and more drive time coming up.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture is urging poultry owners to stay alert during the largest bird flu outbreak in U.S. history. Highly pathogenic avian influenza has affected more than 197 million birds since 2022. As wild birds migrate this fall, having the right biosecurity measures in place is vital to keeping poultry healthy. USDA Undersecretary Dudley Hoskins is here to tell us more.
Biosecurity is the best defense producers have against disease, and USDA is here to help. We offer free biosecurity assessments and practical tools so producers can protect their flocks and keep their operations strong. Our focus is farmers first, because when agriculture is secure, our nation is secure. We want America's producers to thrive.
USDA also offers online tools and resources to help flock owners strengthen biosecurity. To learn more, search USDA Defend the Flock.
It's 5 o'clock. Your employees are headed home, but you're still updating spreadsheets, switching between software, and wondering where the day went. There's a better way. Odoo brings accounting, sales, inventory, CRM, and more together in one fully integrated platform. So you spend less time managing software and more time running your business, because your workday should end eventually. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Anywhere you are, everywhere it matters. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live on
From
the free Odyssey
ABC
app.
News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Western Colombia, a race to find survivors after yesterday's major earthquake. More than 220 people have died. Hundreds of others are listed as missing. ABC's Faith Abube is in Medellin with
At least 61 buildings collapsed and over 1,600 homes damaged or destroyed. Residents seen fleeing as structures around them crumbled. In Cali, at least 20 buildings collapsed, falling to the ground. Rescuers using their bare hands and buckets to scoop debris as they search for any signs of life.
Robert Gilman, a U.S. Marine and veteran, released from a Russian prison today. President Trump calling it a humanitarian effort after he spoke to Russia's president. ABC's Patrick Reevell with details.
32-year-old Robert Gilman is now on his way back to the U.S. after a 4-year ordeal held in a Russian prison. Gilman was imprisoned while he was visiting Russia after he was accused of kicking a police officer, and his family and the U.S. government say those charges were essentially trumped up.
Gilman's family says he was abused and is gravely ill. The White House is not confirming or denying reports by the Washington Post on a plan to protect President Trump from an Iranian threat following last month's NATO summit in Turkey. The Post says the president was secretly shuttled off Air Force One on a catering truck and moved to a military jet. Here's ABC's Martha Raddatz.
All three planes, the Qatari gifted jet, the Legacy Air Force One carrying staff and press, and the military craft reportedly carrying the president, landed in Britain. It's there that the president is reportedly secreted back on to the Legacy aircraft, where he was seen by cameras again deplaning and boarding the Qatari gifted jet.
Tornado warnings in the Chicago area forcing the evacuation of workers at Midway Airport's air traffic control tower today. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy, humid, 86 degrees at 4:02. I'm Laura Oakes. It is primary election day, and poll watchers say turnout is strong in Minnesota with a slew of high-stakes contests for some pretty big open seats.
I always want primaries. My big one is governor and representative and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, the Senate race and the governor race, I wanted to just make sure I had my pick and my voice and casted my ballot for that.
Participation and democracy. That's what it's about for me.
There is a chance that some races may still be undecided after the votes are counted. Secretary of State Steve Simon.
If the margin is 0.25% or smaller between the top two candidates, a candidate has to ask for it, but it would trigger an automatic taxpayer-funded recount.
The most notable recount in Minnesota history came in 2008 when incumbent U.S. Senator Norm Coleman had a small lead over Al Franken to trigger the recount. It took more than 6 months to complete the process, with Franken winning the election. The polls are open till 8 tonight. You can find your polling place on the Minnesota Secretary of State's website. Luigi Mangione, who is accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, was back in court today for a pre-trial hearing. Defense attorneys asked the judge for the trial to be broadcast live. The judge has not made a ruling. The trial is scheduled to begin on September 8th. Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell making it official this afternoon that Kyler Murray will be the team's Week 1 starting quarterback. O'Connell says Murray has proven already in training camp that he has the necessary skills and ability.
Not only just from a standpoint of accuracy, but his ability to affect the game with his athleticism, but he's also proven to be smart, very hardworking and able to take in a lot of information and churn that out. Now we really want to give him the opportunity to really start building a comfort level, not only with the system, but with the guys.
The decision comes ahead of Saturday's first preseason game already when the Vikings will face the New York Giants in East Rutherford. And tonight, the St. Paul Saints get a taste of movie magic as they will face the Iowa Cubs at the Field of Dreams in Dyersville, Iowa. Saints play-by-play broadcaster Sean Aronson says it'll be a special moment, and the Saints still have a lot to play for.
We're a game out of a playoff spot. We're 19 games over 500 overall. We've been playing great baseball, and so you don't want to not play your best today because, it's sort of a jewel event, as they call it, and then look back as the one game that if you had just won, that maybe you would have gotten to the playoffs.
Tonight's Field of Dreams game gets underway at 6:30. It airs live on the MLB Network. The Twins and Phillies will play out in the Corn there on Thursday. WCCO News Times, 4:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crush working up for East 94 near John Ireland Boulevard. The activity off the left side. Traffic slow as you come in from Lexington with the stop-and-go mix. If you're going to be traveling West 94, still tight into Minneapolis past Huron Boulevard. 35W northbound, that slows past 42nd Street into downtown. USPS Ground Advantage, reliable route where there's no problems at all is 212 westbound 494 heading up to Highway 41. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Staples. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We are in for another warm and humid summery night. Mostly cloudy, only falling back to 70. Plenty of sunshine again tomorrow. Just a few clouds with a high of 86. Still muggy out there. It will be less humid on Thursday. Perhaps a few isolated showers overnight into Thursday morning. Then decreasing clouds with a high near 83.
Mostly cloudy, humid right now, 86. At News Talk 830 WCCO.
Every minute here makes you a little smarter there. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
We are at Target Field. It is humid. It is cloudy. It is hot. It is summer. Twins getting ready to take on Baltimore tonight. A lot more optimism, a lot more joy around this team than there was last year this time around the trade deadline. That is for sure. It's Jason. Dan is with me on location. Laura keeping you up to date on the news. Of course, it is primary election day, which, look, I always struggle how much we should talk about it because most of you don't care. Well, I don't know if most of you don't care. Most Minnesotans don't care. It is just the reality. When turnout is, if you have a rock star turnout, it's 22% of registered voters. That ain't great. And so it is something that those of us who love this stuff pay a lot of attention to, but a lot of the rest of you are paying attention to other stuff like getting kids back to school, hauling your kids, whether it's to the doctor to get the vaccines they need to go into school. If you're at that phase of life, if you're a college parent, it's getting those kids ready for college. Two stories to talk about this afternoon about the changing norms when it comes to both of those areas. I want to start first with vaccines because we saw yesterday the president of the United States, who was not surrounded by medical experts, was not surrounded by pediatricians. He was surrounded by RFK Jr., his son, and he's changed the vaccine schedule by executive
noted
order.
Vaccine expert Don Jr.
It's really the culmination of a rejection of authority and expertise that we've been seeing in this country for the last 15 to 20 years, to be honest. I think there is such an antagonism towards any sort of expertise, and we're seeing it play out here. And in this case, some of the antagonism, it's sort of warranted, but not really. It's sort of warranted in that sort of vein, like when someone's mean to you and you want to respond by telling them that every idea they've ever had is idiotic and they should go screw themselves. You know that reaction? We all have that on social media. Or maybe there's someone in your life that just drives you nuts, but you know what? Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're right. With the president, what we're having is governing by vindication, by vengeance, and it's the anti-Fauci moment, right? Which is sort of fascinating because Fauci got a presidential commendation from Donald Trump near the end of his first term for his work on expediting the COVID vaccine and getting the vaccine out so quickly. Yesterday, some selective text messages were released from Dr. Fauci. We've seen his diary release, like all of this sort of ridiculousness. But it does bring up an interesting discussion. And part of my question to you is, do you trust anyone? Who do you trust when it comes to vaccines? 651-461-9226. When we had little kids, there was a schedule that the government recommended. There was a schedule that the school said would happen. And we had an amazing doctor, a family doctor who also delivered our kids, Pam Jaworski. And Pam Jaworski, we just asked her what we should do, and we did it. That was it. I don't know that that was naive, but I do think that that feels a little more logical than asking the president or the guy with the famous last name who's a noted vaccine skeptic and has spent much of his life peddling conspiracy theories that have been disproven by science. Do we trust those guys? What's happened with vaccines for me is a muddying of the waters. And we see this on so many different issues, right? Where there's enough uncertainty out there where you start to question yourself. I start to question myself. Was I wrong for giving my kids the full vaccine schedule? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, I do want ongoing scientific examination. I have no problem with questioning established science. Often there are things we learn that modify what we thought we knew, right? One of the text messages that's been getting a lot of attention and sort of being held up as if Dr. Fauci was like pulling one over on pregnant women. And I saw a prominent local news anchor actually post about this, which I thought was quite interesting from her perspective, that, you know, she was pregnant during COVID and she took the first vaccine and didn't take the second vaccine. And, you know, she was upset that Fauci was having text message conversations where he was raising the question about, you know, are there complications that could come from this? And I get it that we want more transparency, but I don't know that it helps anyone to be sharing sort of the internal scientific hypotheses that happen along the road. Now, I do think there were a lot of mistakes made when it comes to public health and the way that we communicated what we knew about the vaccine. I think there was an overzealous idea that COVID vaccine was that there was herd immunity. We don't know that that necessarily was the case. We thought that, you know, if you had the vaccine, I don't think it was ever promised that you were never going to get COVID. But the promises didn't always live up to the reality. I think the doubts were suppressed because they wanted to get people on board. And I think it was a mistake, right? The way we handled it, I think a lot of it was a mistake. And also, millions of people's lives were probably saved because of the vaccine. So can we do better? I think yes. But do I think like Dr. Fauci should have released to the world that he was wondering maybe it's a good idea or maybe a bad idea before the government was even recommending that pregnant women get the vaccine? No, I don't need to know every little part of the debate. That scientists are supposed to raise questions and ask questions along the way. And holding this up like this Fauci text is somehow evidence of like, look at the cover up, is so fraudulent to me. And it's just designed once again to make you doubt the experts and trust the almighty Trump. That's what it is. Trust what we tell you because you can't believe anybody else.
Right. This is one of those stories where you really encourage people to read beyond the headline, because the headline does seem
pretty
outrageous. And I understand people that have anger, but when you read what is actually going on, this was speculation going on between doctors of, hey, there's these markers that could be a thing, but we're not sure, because, you know, ethics prevents you from those initial trials of including pregnant women. So they simply didn't have any data.
Yeah.
And he was speculating, could these markers then mean, this could be a problem for pregnant women? It could, but we don't know. And of course, the data has now turned out with pregnant women having taken the vaccine that the concerns were unfounded, that those things didn't lead to miscarriages. So it's one of those things where people are manipulating whatever the information's out there for their own political purposes. Read the story, read what was actually said, read within its context, and you'll see that this is not what some folks who already are predispositioned to hate Dr. Fauci want you to believe that it is.
Lots of texts coming in at 651-461-9226. Trust nobody. 2 of my 5 kids had bad reactions to vaccines. A doctor or the state should not have authority to tell me what is good if I have a 6th. I actually think that as a parent, you always have the ability to decide what you think is best for your kids. What you don't have is automatic admission to go to public schools with kids who are not vaccinated. So, and I'm fine with that. I'm more than fine with that. So, yes, parents have always had the ability to do what they think is best for their kids. Pete from Oakdale, I trust my family doctor. The debate on vaccines and what's necessary and not necessary, says a texter. What has good evidence to support or what has good evidence not to support is a very gray area. The digger you dig into it, the more questions are brought up.
Which is why you want to talk to people with expertise.
Right?
That goes back to your original point. That's people that have studied this, people that have been in this business for a long, long time. Look, I said this 1,000 times during the pandemic. I'll say it 1,000 more. If you don't want to trust government, if you feel government's lying to you, or if you feel the experts that you see being trotted out there that you can't trust them, fine, so be it. But talk to your doctor. Listen to your doctor.
Yeah.
Don't go to your doctor and say, but the president said, or but this expert. Just go to, if you have a family doctor that you can trust, and I understand that's a privilege not everybody has, but most of us do, and that's the person you need to be listening to more than anybody else when it comes to this whole debate. There's so much double talk and misinformation out there. Find a doctor that you can trust, listen to them, and let them lead you in the right direction.
Jason, I'm a nurse. I find the current trend of changing the childhood immunization schedule troubling. I think people need to look at history and how vaccines have saved children from very bad diseases.
Yes.
I do believe that parents can spread the vaccines out, but probably the vaccines that are recommended are important. I'll be honest, I have no problem with if scientists want to say, you know what, maybe and I know the MMR vaccine, the combined vaccine, has become such a flashpoint for people with autism, but parents have had the ability to separate those vaccines before. I know parents who have done that. If you think that's important, fine, but the research is not showing that that's a contributor to to autism.
Yeah.
It just isn't. So if you need something to grab onto and that makes you feel better about yourself, I suppose fine. And spreading out the vaccines, is that worth trying? I guess. Sure. Why not? If you're still getting the vaccines and you spread it out, and that's part of what the president's order does, I don't have a massive problem with that, other than it's not coming from the scientists.
Yeah, it's not coming from...
It's coming from a predetermined outcome that find me evidence that vaccines lead to autism. And it's bunk science. It's bunk science. If they wear a white coat, I will trust them. If you're a public figure, I will not trust a word out of your mouth when it comes to healthcare. Another texter, I trust people like Michael Osterholm who have medical degrees, scientific researchers, not narcissistic loony. Jason, if experts are wrong, are they really experts? So I will say that I think the public has a massive misunderstanding as to what science is. And some of that is the fault of scientists and the fault of public health communicators, that this idea of settled science means that it's 100% certainty. There is no 100% certainty in life. There is no 100% certainty. And if you are demanding that, you're not going to get it. And if you are predisposed to be anti-vax and to be skeptical of the medical establishment and big pharmacy, then you will find reason to be skeptical. And what's happened is that I do believe parents should have the ability to make choices, but you're just not guaranteed to be a part of regular society. So if you want to homeschool your kids, fine. If you don't want to vaccinate your kids and you want to roll the dice, to me, that's fine. I look at what the measles did to America, what polio did to America, what mumps and rubella did, and we got rid of this stuff. And I don't understand why you guys want to mess with it. Why? Like, that's the side of it that I absolutely do not understand. 420, lots of text coming in. We'll stick with this if you guys want to keep talking about it. Who do you trust when it comes to vaccines? 651-461-9226. Drive Time back live from Target Field in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, last night I'm out for dinner. I scootered over for dinner and have one of the tastiest pork chops I've had in my life. It's Jason here. You know, some of you asked me, Jason, do you have as much Minnesota pork as you talk about on that radio station? And my answer is, oh, yeah, I do. Little peach mostarda. Cook, where are you on mostarda? Mostarda on your pork
Didn't he play left field for the Phillies back in 1945?
Right. Vinny Mostarda. Unbelievable, that guy. Hands. Woo. Quick hands. Minnesota Pork Board, 3,000 family farmers. When you're going to your restaurant, you should ask for Minnesota pork. When you go to the grocery store, when you go to the butcher shop, ask for Minnesota pork. Maybe you need inspiration for recipes. Maybe you're gathering the family this weekend. It's ribs time. It's pulled pork sandwiches. Get to tastewhatporkcando.com. They are putting flavor on the table. They want you to be a part of it. Tastewhatporkcando.com, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Drive Time with DeRusha, where the conversation's always in drive. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Twins Ticket Tuesday live from Target Field. We are giving away a 4-pack of tickets to next Tuesday's game. 1 week from today, Atlanta will be here at Target Field. Tuesday, $1 a dog day. So if you don't have plans tonight, you might want to buy tickets. Come on down to the ballpark. Get that $1 hot dog at the Hennepin Grill and taste of Twins territory. You can do that at twins.com/tickets. But sometime this hour, it's going to be this hour, we're going to give away Twins tickets. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington, which I
just listen for the Wind Twin sounder. Don't call for Josh now.
Good point. Dan in Hopkins is on the phone right now. We're talking about vaccines. We're talking about who do you trust when it comes to vaccine recommendations. The president, via executive order, wants to change the immunization schedule. It's not that simple. States set the schedule. Federal There's a federal commission that can change the schedule. It's that because Trump says so, it's not changing. But it is going to throw a lot of confusion out for sure in these couple weeks before school when parents go back. What do you say about all this, Dan? Who do you trust?
Thanks, Jason. Hi, Dan. Hi, Josh.
Hello.
You know, Fauci would not answer any questions in that congressional hearing.
What would you have, knowing that they were the whole thing was designed to charge him with contempt or lying, and they're already talking about charging him with contempt?
Well, how about just tell the truth, the plain truth, and nothing but the truth?
Oh, come on. You would not walk into that trap, would you? You're smarter than that. If they set a trap for you, you're not going to walk right into it.
Well, you have to be careful what you say. But, you know, he was profiting from the sale of the pharmaceutical drugs, was he not? Personally profiting from them? And wasn't he the one that was maneuvering money through government to fund the Wuhan lab for...
Well, I mean, these are all the talking points that have been going on right now. But yes, Fauci was in favor of that lab. That doesn't mean that like Fauci was funding the. You're not suggesting. Let's be serious for a minute. You're not suggesting that you think Dr. Fauci was funneling U.S. taxpayer money to a lab in Wuhan to purposely create and unleash the COVID vaccine on the world.
Well, I don't know all the details, but why?
Come on. Do we have to be so?
Was there American money that was subsidizing the Wuhan lab, and was Fauci responsible for that money?
Sure. So,
I mean, I don't know beyond that. That doesn't really seem to be in America's best interest for China, which is our enemy.
I think today you would look at that and say that. My understanding was it was a multinational lab. I'm not an expert on this. I'm not going to go into full debate on it. But I don't. How is that relevant to what you're thinking about?
This is the guy that's recommending that we shut everything down. And even this local guy you had in your show, maybe not your show, but Lindholm or Lindblom, or what was the guy, the Swedish?
Osterholm, Michael Osterholm. But you're trying to.
Osterholm?
Yeah.
He was saying that I heard him on chat.
This was 6 years ago.
Everything down for 6 weeks. Shut everything down, and then.
Well, I think most people acknowledge that was a mistake. But why the obsession with relitigating this from 6 years ago? Why the obsession with Tony Fauci as like this guy is the boogeyman?
Shouldn't people be held accountable?
What do you want to happen to him? Should we string him up and just like start throwing hypodermic needles at him? What do people want?
I think that if he's involved in corruption, which I think a lot.
How about Trump? How about the whole White House? I mean, what are we doing here?
Anybody of any party is involved in corruption, and they're
all right. Let's bring it back to the topic, though.
Okay,
Dan, who do you trust when it comes to vaccines? Whether it's your kids, your grandkids, who do you trust?
Boy, I don't know. Everything's. I mean, the government has not proven trustworthy. Minnesota government, federal government, local governments, they have not proven to be trustworthy and good stewards of our money. Number one, I don't know. We don't know what they're saying is true. I don't know. I'd love to trust the doctors, but you'll have to admit that doctors are quick to prescribe drugs and the knife rather than changing lifestyle and nutrition.
I think that's right. I think to a large degree, it's because we want a quicker fix, right? Like we want that. But I think that's a fair pushback. But I do think this idea, though, that like your family doc or your pediatrician is like on the take by big pharma and they're making money.
Listen to this.
I just don't know that that's true. I don't know that that's true.
Jason, one quick thing.
Sure.
My wife asked her female doctor, how do I get ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine with Z-Pak? She bowed her head and said, my administrator, my bosses will not allow me to prescribe that. And she quit and then left the state to practice somewhere else.
Yeah.
There was hospital administrators that were profiting from calling things COVID deaths, even if it was a car accident. My wife's first cousin does medical record, whatever she does, transcribing.
Right.
And they're calling every death a COVID death.
Dan, why is what happened in 2021 such a massive part of your existence today? Why is that so significant to you to relitigate? I just don't get it.
Anything criminal, I would be held to account.
Well,
I just
why are we making it criminal though? Wasn't this You don't believe that by and large, what was happening was unprecedented and people were working through this at massive scale with no guidebook, no past examples, and that people were trying to do their best.
There were doctors, unified, highly trained, highly esteemed doctors worldwide that were saying, promote the therapeutics. They do work.
Yeah.
You know, they do work for people.
All right. Dan, thank
And
you. Dan's going to,
down.
all right, I get it. Dan, you're going to be having this conversation with me in 10 years. Like, at a certain point, people have to be, yes, we want to know what happened. We want to know if there was a cover up. But this idea that like Fauci was profiting off of the COVID vaccine, there's no evidence that that is true. This idea that like we intentionally were, just as people muddying the waters, trying to create some sort of vast conspiracy. Why? Why? What's the purpose of that today? You don't have to take the COVID vaccine today. So what's the purpose? Oh, well, now we're undermining everything where the only person we trust is Trump. I'm convinced that that's the purpose. I don't understand it. I do think that our government let us down in many ways by not being clear about the limitations of the vaccine, not being as open about what we knew and what we didn't know. And they're paying the price for that, right? The loss of trust, I think, is a big deal. But I also think we have to take a look at who's stirring up the loss of trust and what's the motivation of that crowd. 431. My advice for whatever it is have a real conversation with your doctor. Have a conversation with your doctor. That to me is the best way to go. And at some point, hopefully we'll get like more trust in real experts. In a minute, DeRusha Eats. We are live at Target Field. Man, it's hot. It is humid here at Target Field, that is for sure. One of the local businesses that has set up had a chance to sell their boba drinks at Target Field. We're going to talk to the guy behind Niko Niko Boba in just a minute. Live from Target Field on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Introducing the WCCO Minnesota Translator.
Interesting.
Translation: I strongly disagree with you.
We should get together sometime.
Translation: we will most likely never get together.
Little chilly today.
Translation: it's 14 below and my eyelashes have frozen, but we're not making a thing out of it.
Oh, just gonna sneak past you here.
Translation: get out of the way.
I heard something on CCO today.
Translation: I've listened to both sides, know the context and headlines, got the weather, how the Twins are doing, and that I need to leave 10 minutes early because of road construction.
Fluent in Minnesotan. News Talk 830 WCCO.
We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score.
Save big money at Menards. Menards is your paint destination, offering the selection you need to refresh your home in one weekend. Pristine Exterior Paint is Dutch Boy's most durable solution for all-weather protection. With its rain rinse technology, water naturally rinses away dirt and grime. Plus, it resists cracking and peeling. Save big money on Pristine Exterior Paint. Plus, view our weekly flyer on Menards.com and start your painting project today.
Save big money at Menards.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
You know that feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com, minileaf.com, the home of Minnesota's best legal products. And tell them Jordana sent you.
If you need to sell a house and you want it done now, and you want to skip the hassles, let me show you how. Join the Red Check Club and sleep well tonight. Join the Red Check Club and spread your arms out wide. Get a guaranteed cash offer and don't look back. Go to chrislindahl.com and start to pack.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Some slowdowns out there. 35E both directions between Highway 36 and 94 is jammed up. You're also going to find 35E both directions jammed up between St. Clair and Highway 13. Traveling west 94, the slowdowns continue there here on Boulevard into the Lowry Hill Tunnel, and Highway 100 got some slowdowns there. Basically both directions right now between Benton Avenue and 394. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hungry? Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan for real Texas barbecue. All meats smoked fresh in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan. Let's get the latest on this humid afternoon from Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Mostly cloudy tonight. Shouldn't see any rain as we fall back to 70. It's going to stay humid. That'll be the case tomorrow as well. Partly cloudy with a high up around 86. We finally catch a break from the humidity on Thursday. Decreasing clouds, 83 the high. Our best chance of rain looks to come in late Friday into Saturday.
87 degrees at Target Field, a little bit above average, right? The average daily high is 80. So it's toasty out here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
I don't think it's working. Hello.
Right, yes.
On News Talk 830 WCCO. DeRusha, he has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRusha Eats.
DeRusha Eats live on location at Target Field. And one of the things that I think has made the food at Target Field so special is the fact that so many local entrepreneurs, local restaurants, local businesses have had the chance to be on this stage. It's part of the great work that Pete and Delaware North have done as they built this place into what I think is the best food court in the Twin Cities, certainly when it comes to athletic venues. And one of the businesses that's had the chance to be front and center this year at Target Field is Niko Niko Boba. And the founder and owner, Jonathan Chong, is with us on DeRush Eats to talk a little bit about his experience this year. Jonathan, so good to see you.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Jason. Really appreciate it.
Tell me how it's been going for you this year. You debuted a bunch of new things here at Target Field.
Yeah, we actually started here in Target Field last year, and this year we expanded this partnership. We wanted to create a few more different fun things for them here. So we added dirty sodas, which yes are not available at regular Niko Niko stores,
but they're so popular, right?
Yeah, and we wanted to take this opportunity in here with our partnership here at the stadium. Actually, they've been really fun to work with, and so they said like, hey, let's do something different. Let's make the experience here at the ballpark a little different.
So you came up with the boozy, the boozy boba,
correct? And we also came out with the boozy boba that comes in like a really special Twins collectible shaker.
It's so cool. Hold that up to this camera here. This is the shaker. So if you're watching on our live stream on YouTube or Facebook or X, the WCCO radio channel or my X account, there is this cool shaker. What a great souvenir.
Yeah, actually the team here at the Twins at the stadium came out with it themselves. They actually did not tell us that they were going to put this drink that we created in this shaker. They came up the day we did, we presented the drinks that we were going to do to them. And they said like, hey, look what we found. We put everything into the shaker, and then you, the customer,
I get to shake it.
And you can take it home, rinse it, and you can use it.
I mean, it's so
on
fun,
your own.
right? Yeah, this would be great.
Yes.
I like to make a cocktail at home. Like, how fun would this be?
And there are pearls inside compared to just any regular,
a regular
boozy drink. You get.
So what's in this one?
Boba. This is a peach Palmer. There is black tea in it, vodka, peach, lemon, and we have some mango popping bobas. That again, the special thing about this shaker,
you put the
you can fit a large straw. You can fit a large straw.
They engineered it so the straw fits, and wow.
So you can't get this anywhere. I've not seen this anywhere. When I saw it, I was like, where did you guys find this?
This is really refreshing.
Yeah, it's super
and
fun.
A little dangerous, eh?
Yeah. It's sweet. It's sweet, and it's boozy.
That is
right?
so good.
Yeah,
so good. Jonathan is here from Niko Niko Boba. Tell us your story, because you guys started Niko Niko in what, 2023?
Yep, 2023.
Only 3 years ago.
Yep, yeah.
Does it feel like longer?
It does. We've been pushing really hard. We are Minnesota founded, Minnesota owned, and we love the community we get to serve in, the people, and we've also grown to stores in Denver, and we just opened in Miami this year, and that's been new as well and very different. But we're learning as we go, and this partnership with right here in the stadium has really been a place where people can find us and experience us in a small way. It's not the whole Niko Niko Boba menu. We do so much more things, but we get to do. Example, no Niko Niko Boba store can serve alcohol.
Right.
But our team gets to have some fun, right?
What is it like? I mean, obviously, we know attendance at regular season Twins games has been pretty low this year by historical standards. But last week, you had Savannah Bananas for 3 games, all sellout.
All sold out.
Noah Khan, sellout. You got Tim McGraw coming. Yeah. Obviously, we want more fans to come to Twins games, too.
Yes.
But what's it like when it's really popping in here and you guys are trying to crank out the boba?
Yeah. So this past weekend, the team here came to us and said, we usually have one stand here that's permanent in the stadium. But they said, we're going to do 3 locations. I said, 3 locations for Niko. She said, tons of families are going to be here. Let's make it fun and easy for them to get drinks at different levels in the stadium. and it's been great. The team here is good. They're ready. They're ready to execute such a big event. That's hard. Like you said, maybe on a regular day it's less than half of a sellout. Maybe sometimes I'm not sure, but to have a team that can ramp up for 3, 4, 5 days and just nonstop serve
cool.
that many drinks just for one boba stand. They're doing so many other things and caring about our boba stand. That's why we value that partnership here.
Jonathan, do you think at this point most people know what boba is? For a while, like, you still sort of have to explain, right? Some of our listeners may not know.
No, I think so. Boba or bubble tea, it's really these chewy either tapioca pearls. Over here we do a lot of popping boba, from strawberry to this one has the strawberry one, strawberry to mango, and different chewy things that you can get in different drinks. And it can be coffee, it can be tea, it can be we have a strawberry lemon spritz that's a bestseller here, which is with sparkling water and our own strawberry puree. There's a lot of fruit in there. That's the difference, because we make our own syrups as well, which they serve here. So they're not buying different things from what we do in the store, right?
Got it.
Yes, we do. Our team works very hard to explain to people what the experience is.
Because like, if you're not used to like having a drink where you get this little like tapioca kind of bubble and some pop,
right?
You're like, whoa, what's going on here?
There's and some people put a lot of different things into the drink. That's the fun thing. You can have mango, you can have strawberry, all these different popping pearls in your mouth, and it's fun. It's a good thing to have during a game. You're sipping, you're chewing.
And it's fun. Yeah. Jonathan Chong from Niko Niko Boba. Boba started in Taiwan, right?
Many years ago.
And it's I will tell you, like, especially, I have younger kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, they're not younger anymore. Now they're both off at college. But when they were like in middle school and high school, going to the boba shop was like, for a kid, it was maybe like the what it used to be like to go to a soda shop for an older generation. Like, it definitely is the hangout,
It's a new thing, I think, because they get to choose how they want it.
Yeah.
They can choose how sweet you get the drink, no sugar, regular sugar, half sugar. You can choose what you want in the drink, from tapioca pearls, the popping bobas. And a lot in our stores we have fruit too.
Fruit also.
So like mango chunks, peach chunks, you can get that in a sparkling drink. There's just so many variations.
Now, let me ask you about the business side, Jonathan, because, you see, like, there are plenty of the vendors who are from other local businesses, right? We have Kramarchuk's out here, Red Cow. We've got Murray's is out here. You see a number of local businesses represented. What does it mean for you to be in that mix?
Like with Kramarchuk's, Murray's, and everyone, I mean, they're just huge household brands. And when Pete here called us and said, you guys want to try to do this at the ballpark, we were like shocked. Boba at the ballpark? I don't think there's anywhere else in the country that you can experience this. And then this year, doubling down and doing more different things, make us a dirty soda, make us a hard boba. I don't think you can get that anywhere else in the country. And that's the special thing that we're doing here.
Do you guys make any money out here? Or is it more like for the exposure that you get?
There's the exposure that people who maybe don't see us regularly see us, but number two, they are also they're serving the same quality ingredients that we are serving. So that's where we make money too. Again,
because you make the ingredients.
Yes. So our company, the special thing is that we source all our ingredients, and almost all of the syrups and teas are packaged, made, cut, produced just for us.
Genius.
And that's what helps us maintain the quality here in the ballpark and at the store. If not, it's just Monin syrup, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's the difference that we are able to do and provide to the team here.
Smart business, and it makes for a better product as well.
Consistent product, consistent experience. Yeah.
Jonathan, I'm a big fan. Niko Niko Boba, locations all over Minnesota, now in Miami, also in Denver.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Started right here in the Twin Cities, and you can check them out at the ballpark. They're sort of like behind home plate on the first level, right? You're kind of in that area.
1? 301.
Not 301, right? Because you're on the first level. So
Yes.
where are you? You're over by the. What are you next to?
We'll
look it up. Someone tell me
I'm
where
so
Jonathan
sorry.
is. It's all good. You
I
know
was
how
running
to walk there. You're
Yes.
like, it's right over
I
there.
was running between all the 3 locations this weekend that I know where they all are, but I think 301 was where we were prepping upstairs.
Okay, very good. Very good.
Thank
They're
you.
at 120 on the main concourse.
Sorry about
120.
that.
No,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. That's DeRusha Eats on WCCO. We're going to break. Drive time at Target Field. Don't forget, we are giving away tickets to Tim McGraw during this show. So that is coming up in a minute. Plus, parents are hiring maids for their college students. Are you kidding me? Oh, my gosh. Drive time back in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Yeah, I was just talking to my friends at Tureen Dermatology today. It's Jason. I'll be out at Tureen next week. And I go out there once a year for my full body skin checkup, but then I go in between for various, well, you'll have something pop up, a mark or a mole or something on your skin that doesn't feel right. I go to the experts. Tureen Dermatology has 12 locations all over the Twin Cities and Western Wisconsin. And you can get in within 3 weeks. How about that? No wait, no long wait. Just go to the website, Tureen, Tareen, dermatology.com, and they can get you hooked up. And this month, we're paying special attention to hair loss. August is Hair Loss Awareness Month. And it's a challenge that not only men face, but women as well. Thinning, loss, etc. More and more people are getting interventions earlier. You've probably seen this on TikTok. Don't go to the TikToker. Go to the real doctor, Dr. Mohiba Tureen and her team at Tureen Dermatology. They have all sorts of options from medical intervention to pharmaceuticals to other sorts of natural treatments that you can explore. TureenDermatology.com.
Warmer weather is finally here, and that means cookouts,
ball games,
and maybe enjoying some time on the water.
But it also means lots of heavy foods, sweets, and maybe an extra adult beverage or two. Thank goodness we both take Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All the things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted natural ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Active Liver helps us enjoy the good things in life with peace of mind that our liver isn't working overtime. Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com, and you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
All right. It's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Chad here for Aquarius Home Services. If you're headed to the fair, all the great options, including all the great food, stop by the Connecticut Water Treatment Booth in the Home Improvement Building. The team will show you how you can enjoy worry-free Connecticut water in your home every day like I do. No worries if you can't stop by. As your independent authorized dealer, Aquarius will bring the state fair treatment to you. How to get it done? Go online, AquariusHomeservices.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code Fresh for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Laguna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Crash working at 694 eastbound near Long Lake Road. The activity off to the right side. Your slowdowns in place as you pretty much come away from 252. If you're going to be traveling 10 eastbound, got your jam up there as you come down from 35W to 694. 35 east southbound still jammed up St. Clair down to Shepherd Road. Laguna, Minnesota reminds you to slow down when you see orange cones and yellow vests all year round. They're working to improve your infrastructure and build a better Minnesota for you. So please slow down, save lives, keep construction workers safe. Brought to you by Laguna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. Serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
JTR, roofing and siding, that's who we are.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by JTR Roofing. Tonight, it's humid. It is humid at the ballpark tonight. But it's summer, man. Feels right, doesn't it? 86 right now. Tonight, the low is 70. Tomorrow, sort of a repeat of today, another 86-degree day. And Thursday, a little less humid, high of 83. Right now at Target Field, humidity at 53%. Audra Martin's hair is on alert for humidity today on CCO.
What about mine?
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Unfair to bring Audra into this. She's joining us at the top of the hour. Unless you want to weigh in on this, Audra. This is a hot topic. It's not a topic that's going to get you in trouble, though. Story in the Washington Post today, because kids are going back to college. And more and more moms and dads are hiring maid service or laundry service for their college kids.
Absolutely not.
Because little Precious doesn't know how to clean up their room or do their own laundry. How many ways have the millennials failed their children? Or are these Gen Xers? Are these my people?
This might be us, yeah.
This is our generation screwing this up?
I thought you were about to say the companies now that will decorate your dorm room.
Well, I've seen those stories, videos.
That is a little extreme, but I can understand
kinda
that.
get it.
But hiring somebody to do your laundry and then cleaning, no.
Where did you go to college?
UCF in Orlando.
UCF. I went to Marquette University, and my freshman year dorm was decorated with my father going to Menards and buying those like cinder block bricks to build a shelf.
Okay.
So some 2x4s and cinder block, and that was it.
Worked
for
like a
decor.
charm, I'm sure.
That was all I had. This is
How are you
crazy.
going to go to college and not know how to do laundry?
We taught our kids how to do their own
Me
laundry.
too. Oh, yeah.
And during COVID, we taught these boys how to cook.
Yeah.
We're like, if you're going to, we're going to try to make you a responsible citizen.
Right?
How's that working out for them?
Well, they appear to be cooking in certain areas. I'll tell you that much. I got an 18-year-old USC kid that is big trouble. Continental Diamond time check, 4:58. Audra joins us to talk Twins at the top of the hour.
If you're planning to move to a senior living facility, you know firsthand that the wait lists are long, and when an opening pops up, you should take it right away. If you need to sell your house to make it happen, you're going to need to work quickly. My friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, will make sure that your home sells when you need it to. Steve and Cheryl knew when they got to the top of the list, they needed to be ready. They heard me talking about John on the radio and called the Good Neighbor agent to come up with a plan. It made it so they didn't have to feel rushed, and so that the short notice of their move wouldn't leave them stuck paying for 2 homes. When they got the call saying that a spot in a senior living center was open, they knew they had to act. Luckily, they'd already come up with a plan with John. He fired up the marketing system. Interest came in right away. Took him 2 days to find a buyer. That's it for Steve and Cheryl. Their home sold for $5,000 over asking price. They planned ahead. You should too. Curious what your home is worth? Go to johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. John
ChooseTheGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and emailing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Minnesota's source for news, weather, traffic, talk, and Twins baseball. News Talk 830 WCCO. KMNB HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Robert Gilman, a veteran U.S. Marine on a flight to the U.S. after being released from a Russian prison. The State Department says he was wrongfully detained. Here's ABC's Patrick Reevell.
Gilman's family have said that he was essentially mistreated psychologically and physically abused over the 4 years. They say he was force-fed drugs and deprived of food and sleep. But in recent days, they've warned that his health had severely deteriorated. He was being fed through a tube, they say, and in a disassociative stupor, saying basically he was unable to eat or speak. And they said that they feared he could die imminently, which is perhaps what has led Russia to release him now.
Gilman will receive a medical evaluation at a Texas military base. The ongoing war with Iran and attacks on vessels intensifying in the Gulf region, critical shipping waterways slowing shipments of oil and goods. New data shows Americans are struggling with costs and debt.
We owe more, and we're not paying our bills on time. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says Americans now owe $1.26 trillion on credit cards, and 12% of us are delinquent in paying even the minimum amount. The high cost of gas, groceries, and household items all contributing. One thing helping those lucky enough to own a home: equity. More people are tapping into that, figuring a refinanced mortgage at a little over 6.5% makes more sense than a credit card balance of 23%. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
More than 220 people now confirmed dead following yesterday's major earthquake in western Colombia. Crews scrambling to dig through the rubble for survivors. A U.S. response team has been deployed to assist crews. Severe storms raising the risk of tornadoes and flooding from the Midwest to the East Coast. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine urging residents to stay off roads.
The odds are that we're going to have continuous problems with flooding for the next several days at least.
DeWine says the storms are blamed for at least one death. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy and humid, 87 degrees at 5:02. I'm Laura Oakes. Minnesota's primary election day is bringing more people than usual out to the polls.
Voters are turning out in droves across the state and metro area, with Department of Justice observers monitoring select polling locations in Ramsey and Hennepin counties. High-profile primary ballots feature crowded fields for both an open U.S. Senate seat and the governorship. And that's what many voters say brought them out today.
We have a really clear choice between someone who voted to thank ICE for invading our communities versus someone who was here stepping up.
Tonight's winners will set the matchups for November, determining which party controls the state's highest executive office and holds crucial federal legislative power. In St. Paul's Frogtown neighborhood, I'm Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
As Taylor mentioned, federal observers are posted at many Minnesota polling places today. Secretary of State Steve Simon points out this has happened a number of times before under multiple presidential administrations.
Minnesotans may well have voted at a polling place with a federal observer there and not even noticed a thing. So the stated reason for these observers to make sure that jurisdictions are complying with certain provisions of the Voting Rights Act.
Those provisions include access for handicapped voters and those who don't speak English. State observers are also out at the polls watching the federal observers. University of Minnesota infectious disease director Dr. Michael Osterholm weighing in on the latest executive order from the Trump administration on childhood vaccines. The order recommends children get shots for 11 diseases, down from 18 as recommended by the CDC. And it includes splitting measles, mumps, and rubella into 3 separate shots instead of 1.
I'm telling you, if parents follow what the White House put out yesterday, it will mean American kids are going to get much sicker. More kids are going to die, all from vaccine-preventable diseases for which they had no reason to have to experience that.
Osterholm says there is no scientific evidence to link vaccines to autism. It is official. The Vikings announcing today that Kyler Murray will start at quarterback in Week 1.
Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell says he had always planned to make a starting quarterback decision 9 to 10 practices into training camp.
It's been a true competition, and we feel like we're at a place where we've made a complete evaluation.
While Kyler Murray will be the Vikings Week 1 starting quarterback, O'Connell adds that J.J. McCarthy still has a future with the team and says that he'll serve as Murray's backup.
In no way does this diminish anything that JJ's demonstrated. There's been real strong, solid evidence of growth.
Both are expected to play in Saturday's preseason opener against the New York Giants. Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And WCCO News Time is 5:05.
Duke's country song. It's a song about award-winning chefs. Yes, chef. And why they choose Duke's Mayo. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And brought to you by Duke's Real Mayo. Slowdowns in place, South 169, 494 as you head down to Old Shakopee Road. The crosstown eastbound run, that's sluggish as Mickwich and Gleason over to Cedar Avenue. Up on the north side, 694 eastbound near Long Lake Road, accident off to the right, keeping you slow as make way past Matterhorn. And now looks like we got a crash working 94 westbound near Hemlock Lane with slowdowns back at Boone Avenue. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Launchpad Golf, the Meadows in Prior Lake is your family and friends hangout. Chef-driven menu, in-range shot tracking tech, and golf every weekday with the Summer Players Card for one payment of just $199. Book your suite tonight at launchpadgolf.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Launchpad Golf. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We are in for another warm and humid summery night. Mostly cloudy, only falling back to 70. Plenty of sunshine again tomorrow, just a few clouds with a high of 86. Still muggy out there. It will be less humid on Thursday, perhaps a few isolated showers overnight into Thursday morning, then decreasing clouds with a high near 83.
Humid, mostly cloudy right now, 87 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minnesota's group chat with fewer LOLs and considerably more information. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
Oh, it's always a good day when we are live at Target Field. It's Jason. Dan is with me looking at the sun blanketing the outfield right now. The Orioles kind of getting some batting practice in. If you hear loud thuds, just know it's not my jokes not landing. For once, it's not that. It is batting practice and the unmistakable sound of a Major League Baseball slamming into an aluminum bleacher. I've spent a lot of time sitting on aluminum bleachers in my life, I'll tell you that much. Batting practice is pretty fun, and people don't get to see this as much as when I was a kid. Audra Martin is with us. She is the sideline reporter at Twins TV, and you hear the screaming kids. Audra, there is something about that moment that never gets old to me, like how excited a kid gets when they get a ball.
It never gets old. I love it too. I mean, they're so excited. It's a baseball. I know I take it for granted, but to them, it is the coolest thing that they will have in their hands. And, that and watching them get autographs when players, do have the time to come over. And
the ball just went to, that's got to be like a 6 or 7 year old girl, right? Like
Here we go. Here we go. Oh,
there's the thud. Oh, it is from your perch as the sideline reporter, you do have to be sort of plugged in to make sure you don't get beaned by a ball.
yeah,
right?
head on a swivel. Here at Target Field, it's a little better than some ballparks because Rob, my camera guy, blocks me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But there are some ballparks where, you're just right in the line
Right.
of fire. And it's tough, because you're looking at notes, you're talking to your producers, whatever, on the mic. You may not be watching every pitch. And there's been a couple times where it has come so close. So I try to make sure every pitch I'm at least watching.
And those balls, they whiz at you faster than
Yeah.
I had a stint as a ball boy over on the first base side here at Target Field for like a TV bit.
Oh, nice.
Except like I had to be out there and at the mid, and it comes at you, and you're like, oh boy,
right?
Like,
and you don't want to mess it up because then you'll end up,
You
as
do
the
not-
replay or
that's-
on social media star for the wrong reasons, right?
I was asking you that at the start, and you've been with the Twins for how long now?
This is my 11th season.
Crazy, right? Did you think, like, when you first got this gig, did you think, like, you would still be doing it?
I hoped.
Yeah.
I sincerely hoped that this would be the last stop on my television career journey.
Because where else? What were you before here?
Before here, I was in Nashville. I was a sports reporter and weekend anchor at the ABC affiliate in Nashville. Was there for a couple years. Before that, I was in Huntsville, Alabama. That was my first full-time TV gig. Before that, I was in Atlanta doing a little bit of everything, television production. I did some TV work for Fox Sports South down there with the Atlanta Thrashers.
How much did you make in your first TV job?
Oh, I think 20. I want to say it was 26.5 my first year, or 27.
Pretty good.
I mean,
my first job. I'm a little older than
Yeah.
you, but my first TV reporter job, Davenport, Iowa, full-time job, $18,000 a year.
Yeah.
$9 an hour.
Yeah.
It was a pay cut from my college and my high school summer job working at a swimming pool.
Right? Yes. I know. It's funny because I remember when I got offered the job, I was ecstatic because Huntsville was a pretty good sized
Pretty
market
good,
for your first job out of college. So I didn't want to complain. And I did know what some of my former classmates were making at smaller markets. So I certainly wasn't complaining, but I do often think, how did I survive? But then I remember that's why I had credit card debt for a while, was because of those, those days. Yeah.
I put my credit card in an ATM machine
yeah.
one day to pay my rent.
Yeah.
That's
That's the good old days.
But the rent was also like $450. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yep.
A little different than what people are dealing with today. I
my
think.
my rent was $650 and I had a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhouse.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Great. Yeah.
It's a little different today, that's for sure. Audra Martin gets a front row seat to Twins baseball all season long. And I wanted to ask you about the vibes of this year's team, because as a fan watching your broadcast on Twins TV, listening to the radio broadcast, it feels, and you hate to like overplay the vibes card because we're still a 500 team.
Right.
But the vibes here feel good. Do they feel different to you?
Yes, they feel great. I'm glad that you asked that because I know I've mentioned it. Corey and our analysts have talked about the vibes, and we hear the guys talk about how much they like each other and they like hanging out. That's not a lie. That's not lip service. It's true. You can tell they really, really pull for each other. They enjoy being around each other, and they're having a good time. Would they like a couple more wins? Sure. Who wouldn't, right? But it honestly does make a difference. You know, I've been here for 11 years. I've been in clubhouses where the vibes weren't necessarily maybe the best that they could be, and the record somewhat reflected that. You can, and then you can point to some of the best clubhouses I've ever been in. One of which was my second year here. You know, my first year here, they lost 103 games. Next year, they made it to the wild card. That squad, that 2017 group, great vibes in there. You know, so it does make a difference.
Obviously, the media environment is constantly changing. We've seen, you know, when you started, regional sports networks were sending huge money to the ball club.
Yeah.
Now, like the Twins are doing their own thing. It's largely been a lot of the same faces in the broadcast, although we have some players who have kind of, we're seeing how it goes, how they like it. What is that like for you? All of the changes and the changing people.
Oh, it's been awesome. Twins TV has been really the most fun I've had.
Now's your chance to be like, I absolutely hate Corey Probus.
No, I love
biggest monster in broadcasting.
Man, no, I am so blessed. We really do have a great group, and that's everybody from the analyst to Corey, but everybody behind the scenes.
Well, you work
too.
more with the behind the scenes and with the producer, and you're a photographer, probably, right?
Photographers every day and producers every day. We got different producers that come in, which is fun too, because everybody has different ideas. But the Twins TV concept has been so great. We have so many, brilliant minds that are coming together to think outside the box. And because we are so much of a team partner, we can try new things. We can have Pablo Lopez as our analyst for a whole series with Corey. We get some of these.
How fun was that?
It was so great. Right? And he did such a good job.
Very Pablo, though. Very, we get really into the details.
The guy's so
the
smart.
philosophy.
He's so smart. Yeah. But we get to do a lot of really fun things. We get to try a lot of things. Sometimes they don't work. We swing and miss just like any other aspect of baseball. Yeah. But it's been a great now year and a half, almost 2 years of Twins TV.
Audra Martin is with us. We're talking about the Twins. I also wanted to talk about your stints singing here at Target Field.
Oh boy.
Let's play a little bit. When did you sing God Bless America?
That was July 26th against the A's.
All right, take a listen.
Land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above.
Phils, come on.
I'm in the wrong business. I hate listening to myself talk. I really hate listening to myself sing.
You have an amazing singing voice.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Have you always been a singer?
Since about junior high is when I really got into choir and musical theater and stuff like that.
When you were a kid, did you practice singing the national anthem, dreaming of being in a sports arena or anything?
No, it's funny. When I was little too, I never sang in front of my family. I knew I could always sing because I would sing when everybody was gone out of the house, but I just, for some reason, didn't want anybody to know. And so in 8th grade, I had a solo in our choir concert, and my parents didn't know, and my mom started crying because of it.
Of course.
And so I was like, well, I guess the cat's
Why
out of the
didn't
bag.
you tell them?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know why I didn't want them to know. I don't know.
My son did this to us also.
Yeah.
He had a solo at a choir concert. We're like, honestly, you could have given us a heads up. I would have had the camera ready or something.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so kids are funny about that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah. But so music's a big part of my life, sports and music. So it's fun to be able to combine them here at the ballpark.
What kind of reaction did you get from that?
Well, I had sang once before, a couple years ago. That one caught a lot of people off guard. Right. I didn't tell very many people. I walked into the clubhouse afterwards and people were like, "Are you kidding me right now? What?" I remember Rocco even stopped the post-game press conference to be like, "By the way, what are you kidding?" So that was kind of funny. So a lot of the guys here knew that I can sing, so it wasn't really that big of a surprise. But I always appreciate the kind words. I got so many messages and comments on the videos and stuff, and it means a lot. I really, really appreciate it because I was terrified. Even though I've done it so many times before, I still am so nervous every single time.
Is it different when you're singing at Target Field because there's a little delay and echo? You have monitors, right?
It is, yeah. You do have a monitor, but it's tough with the ballpark echo. It's also for me a little bit more nerve-wracking because I've sang at sporting events in the past, but a lot of times I don't really have an affiliation with the people there. But here it's if I were to mess it up, I still have to come back to work and see all these people. And the joys of social media too would make that I'm sure a lovely experience to deal with if I messed it up. But
do you read the comments? When people send you on Twitter or on Instagram, do you read that stuff?
I do. Because sometimes it's been a benefit. Somebody will tip me off to something or, have a question that I'm like, that's actually a great question. I don't know the answer to. So in that sense, it can be very valuable. The first couple of years I was here, no, I tried not to at all because people were vicious. I mean, I was taking over for Jamie. Everybody loved Jamie. So people weren't too nice. I understand because I've gone back and watched clips from my first couple of years here. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I keep my job? It was rough. So it was tough, but I've developed thicker skin, I will say. It doesn't bother me.
It is a hard
Doesn't mean that you can still be mean. If you're out there listening, I'm not giving you permission to start, chirping me and
Well,
trash
Eric,
talking. But...
Eric in St. Louis Park has texted in that Audra is a national treasure.
Oh, well, thank you.
It is
That's
interesting
so
because I
kind.
remember your first couple years.
It's rough.
And
It was
it's always hard when you replace someone
Yeah.
that is popular.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you did replace someone who's popular.
Yeah.
But now I think, like, if Audra ever left, like, whoever replaces you would have that. I mean, 11 years, you're part of the Twins fan experience.
Yeah, well,
there
I
are
appreciate
generations
it.
of fans that they only know Audra
Yeah.
being out in the outfield or out on the sideline or wherever getting the goods.
I appreciate it. It's a huge compliment, and it means a lot to me when I talk to the fans and they say things along those lines, because my first couple years here, I didn't know if I would have the opportunity to be here 11 years later. I look at somebody like Marnie, who's been just such an amazing representative and a Minnesota icon in the broadcasting industry, and I kind of aspired to be like that. So I hope I'm still around for years to come. I will say, it's really funny. I've been here for 11 years, and even just a couple of days ago, somebody was like, Marnie, we love you, Marnie. And I'm like, I just kind of laugh and I'm like, oh, thanks. But because I understood when people would be like, hey, Jamie, we were both
Blondes.
I'm kind of tall. Marnie's not so much as
A
tall.
little shorter.
Brunette, blonde, yeah. But I'll take that as a compliment too. If you're compared to Marnie Gellner, you're doing something right.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Audra, we love you. If you ever want to go into radio, you're ready. Just
thanks.
a natural here for sure.
I appreciate it. I give you guys a lot of credit.
We have to talk about a lot of stuff.
I feel like I could get myself into trouble if I was on a mic for an extended amount of time.
That's the
with
assignment.
no script or no.
They like that. In talk radio, they like it. If you're making trouble, if you're being problematic, they're happy.
Viewers and ratings and stuff, right?
There you go. The social media. I mean, if you struggle to read yours, don't ever go into my replies. It's an absolute dumpster
Godspeed
fire.
to us both with some of the, these people out there in the Twitter sphere.
My goodness. Audra Martin, we'll be watching tonight on Twins TV. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me, guys. You're the best.
All right, we're going to break in just a minute. A couple things I want to talk about in our last 40 minutes here as we take you up to Twins pregame on CCO. A question posed in the Star Tribune today. Should 16 and 17-year-olds be able to vote? A high school arguing that Minnesota should let young people vote. I asked my kid about it. He was like, hell no. What do you think about that? Should 16-year-olds vote? 651-461-9226. Drive time back in just a minute.
Drive time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty. So when do you need to start thinking about a will? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What is a living trust, and do you need this? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What about a power of attorney or probate? We'll get all the answers to your questions when you schedule a free attorney consultation at, GutmanLaw.com. It's Jordana. And I didn't know the first thing about wills, living trust, estate planning, but I didn't need to. All I did was reach out to my friend Matt Gutman and his partner Jamie Reff Wagner. This is their focus. Wills, trust, probate, estate plans. Now knowing that my loved ones will be taken care of no matter what helps me sleep at night. Don't wait until it's too late to get these things taken care of. You can schedule a free, no-hassle consultation right on the website. Say it with me, GutmanLaw.com. GutmanLaw.com, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow. It's not just a slogan. I sleep better at night now that I have my estate plan in place. Thanks to Matt Gutman and Jamie.
Mr. Air Conditioner, this is your annual performance review. It says here that you feel cold air is no longer aligned with your personal brand.
It may be time for a $59 AC tune-up from Apollo Heating, Air, and Plumbing.
Now HR is involved.
Visit us at callapollo.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
Weird. It was startling. It's a little scary.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Live at Target Field, the fans are filling in already. One of the fun things about showing up early to a Twins game, if you're a member of the My Twins program, you get happy hour pricing. I know they do a happy hour for everybody on Friday and Saturday, but if you're a My Twins member, you go to twins.com/mytwins, and then boom, you can get happy hour beers before the game. We had some friends from out of town the last time we were here for a happy hour, and they could not believe that you could get a $5 beer at the ballpark. They're still talking about it. It's such a remarkable thing.
It's
so
sadly a rarity at sporting events these days. So yeah,
no doubt. It is hot and it is fun here at Target Field right now. Today, primary election day. We got a couple more hours left, and we'll have Twins baseball on the air. Do we have an election show tonight or not?
No, with the ball game.
Because of the ball game, yeah.
We won't be able to do that.
So we'll have full coverage tomorrow as to what ends up happening. And you're welcome to text in kind of who you think's going to win tonight. I'm curious. Right? Like I don't have a huge if you said you gotta guess. I would guess Mike Lindell is gonna win on the Republican governor's side. I would guess that Michelle Tafoya will win. I would guess that Peggy Flanagan will win. Those are the big, and in CD2, the former Angie Craig seat, I would guess I actually think Matt Klein is going to win because I think the two progressives will split the progressive vote. That's
I think that's fair analysis. I do sort of lean against you in the governor's race and the Senate race, only because I think the people who show up to vote are going to skew older than what the polling data was saying. So I think you're going to see Angie and Lisa Dama pull out those races, but we'll see.
We'll see. It's up to you guys, right? You come out and you vote and you decide. But today in the Star Tribune, a high schooler wrote an op-ed piece saying that we should let students practice democracy before they turn 18. And it is an interesting question. It's something I've thought about over the years. Because if you think about our policies, governmental policies, kids are affected by these in a major way. Do you think 16 and 17-year-olds should be given the right to vote? Should you be able to vote earlier than 18? 651-461-9226. I say no. I don't think 16 and 17-year-olds should be able to vote. When I was talking about this with my 18-year-old who voted for the first time in his life today, Sam said, well, maybe you could let the kid who wrote the op-ed vote. But most 16 or 17-year-olds, I don't know. The advantage, I suppose, would be get young people excited about democracy. But my experience is that, generally speaking, and maybe you're going to say, Jason, this is such a boomer take. But most 16 and 17-year-olds, they are just going to parrot whatever their parents think about politics. And so, yes, a lot of us pick up our politics from our parents or our neighbors or whatever. But I don't know at 16 or 17 there's much societal benefit to extending the vote to those kids.
I think, a lot of times with this topic, the arguments against it are fallacious in the sense that, well, the kids don't know a whole lot about what's going on. They're not engaged. They're not paying attention. They're not reading up on the issues. Well, guess what? Most folks over 18 aren't doing that either.
You're right about that.
I'm in favor, and I think we've talked about this in the past, and I think you've indicated you'd be open to this. I'd be in favor if you want to get kids at 16 and 17 interested in democracy, interested in the voting process, of limiting it to, say, school board races or even just local races. No federal offices, no state offices, but the stuff that, more directly impacts their lives. And again, I think what you're going to find is most kids just aren't going to participate, but the ones who are, you're training to be engaged, you're training to be looking at issues and educating themselves. And I think that could have a positive effect going forward.
You could, and what this writer was suggesting at Star Tribune is you could have a student representative on every school board, and you could have students elect that representative. Sure. So, but if you're going to put a student rep on a school board, I sort of think they should be a voting member. If you're going to go down this road, should they be just advisory, or should you say, like, no, let's have an actual...
Well, if you're going to do it, do it.
If you're going to do it, do it. It's sort of my view, and that student should have a vote on the school board. But I think, generally speaking, I mean, I know that maybe this is not a popular opinion right now, but I think our elections are pretty good. I'm not really that interested in how do we expand participation to more people. I feel like, especially in Minnesota, if you want to vote, it's pretty dang easy. And I think it generally should be pretty easy for you to vote. I know people want to put up all sorts of roadblocks, and they've got their ideas that there's fraud happening in elections left and right. I think, generally speaking, our elections are pretty good. And if you want to vote legitimately, it's fairly easy to do it. If you want to vote illegitimately, it's not as easy as people want you to think it is.
Not nearly.
Texters say raise the election age to 21, and you should be required to have a job or own property. I totally disagree.
Let's just go all the way back to 1776 and say you have to be a male.
Could not disagree with that more.
Good heavens.
If Texter says if parents are hiring maid and laundry services for them to go off to college, they can't cook or wash their clothes, then no way they should vote.
I get the sentiment behind that. And look at a lot of the adults that are voting right now.
Exactly. 16 and 17-year-olds should not be able to vote. They can't even enter a legal contract. Another texter says, why not? A lot of them are smarter than some adults.
I think there's a fair argument to be made there, too.
Andrew says 18 is good, but can we have a cutoff at 95? I am a noted ageist. And I've never considered Andrew's proposal, and I'm going to take it under advisement.
Okay, you're going to think about that one?
Because
ruminate a little bit?
I'm not immediately offended by it. I'm not immediately opposed. 95 feels like once you hit 95, you probably you're good. You're good. Let's break. In a minute, we're going to give away tickets to the Tim McGraw massive concert event that is happening here at Target Field. Lady A is opening, and so I need calls. This concert is August 23rd, right here at Target Field. I need you to line up to play Name That Tune. 651-461-9226. This is the Pawn Shop Guitars Tour at Target Field, August 23rd. Still a few tickets, not a ton, but a few tickets available. Thanks to Live Nation. You can get those tickets at Ticketmaster.com, but somebody's going to win a pair if they can name that Lady A tune in just a minute here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at LutherKiaofBloomington.com.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Dollar General.
Best Buy is testing a smaller store format as it looks to break into new markets. The nation's biggest electronics chain says it opens stores between 12,000 and 15,000 square feet in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and Cape Cod, Massachusetts, significantly smaller than its flagship locations. Best Buy's CEO says its smaller format stores make sense for some markets where its traditional stores are just too big. I'm Jason Brooks.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings you the goods with the hit of the summer, Guys and Dolls. You got your delicious dinner. You got your great show. Heck, you got free parking. Such a deal. Guys and Dolls, it's hilarious, romantic. Hit tunes like Luck Be a Lady and Sit Down, You're Rockin' the Boat. This is the high-rolling hit musical for the whole family. And it's your lucky day, because I'm going to tell you how to score these tickets. Visit chanhassendt.com and you will hit the jackpot.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Chad back here with you on CCO. I want to talk insurance and the group I have trusted for 30 years. Not just me, my father, my boys. We have been with Amber Scholl and Associates the entire time. They are with American Family, and trust is the right word. When something awful happens with your business or your home or your car, you need people who are available. You need individuals who have a team, and they've handled every situation. Amber and her team have done that. Let's be honest. Insurance rates are complicated. You need someone who knows this business in all ways, and I wouldn't be with Amber for 30 years unless I totally believed in her. Call today, 651-738-4811. And tell me you heard this spot from Chad on CCO.
Colonial craftsmen knew their stuff. The Colonial Collection is available in multiple sizes with all the storage pieces your bedroom might need.
A queen low footboard bed is Craftsman Direct priced from $29.45 or $123 a month for 24 months at Barufka's.
Museum quality for mummies and everyone.
Oh, Jim. Barufka's. No gimmicks, haggling, or hard-to-understand pricing in Woodbury and Burnsville.
Barufka's. Decidedly American.
Is life insurance still on your list from earlier this year? Now is the perfect time to just get it done. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40, and her $5,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
94 westbound, make way past 169, crash off the left side in the process of being cleared. Traffic remains tight, those who come in from Boone Avenue. Traveling north 169, that's free and clear of any issues as you come up from 55 to 610. 94 westbound, still jammed up, has been most of the afternoon as move between Huron Boulevard and the Lowry Hill Tunnel. East 94 slow through downtown St. Paul. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan for real Texas barbecue. All meats smoked fresh in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan at dickeys.com. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Mostly cloudy tonight. Shouldn't see any rain as we fall back to 70. It's going to stay humid. That'll be the case tomorrow as well. Partly cloudy with a high up around 86. We finally catch a break from the humidity on Thursday. Decreasing clouds, 83 the high. Our best chance of rain looks to come in late Friday into Saturday.
Dew point right now is 68. That is in the uncomfortable zone, I would say. Feels uncomfortable.
I think if you get to 68-degree dew point, turn around and look about 3 miles behind you, that's where the uncomfortable zone is.
Yeah.
I think this is just grotesque.
Sunny, 86 at Target Field. Let's give away some tickets here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now there's only one thing left.
That's it. That's all you get. Lady A, part of the amazing bill here at Target Field, the Tim McGraw Pawn Shop Guitar Tour on August 23rd. The Chicks, Lady A, 49 Winchester, and Timothy Wayne, all part of that bill on the 23rd. It's going to be a sellout, I'm sure, but you're winning tickets. We're giving away a pair every day. I've got 5 contestants lined up. Eric in Apple Valley. Eric, you are our first contestant. I'm going to play you a little bit of this clip one more time. Josh, hit the short clip.
Now there's only one thing left.
Eric, can you name that Lady A tune?
It's got to be Hey Bartender.
Don't remember. Go until they cut me off.
You got it, Eric. You got it done. And I'm sorry on our video stream I didn't have Dan Cook's live picture up there because he was furious that you won, Eric.
No, I mean, I'm not mad at Eric. No, I'm not mad at Eric at all. I'm glad Eric won. I'm sure he's a big Lady A fan, so he's going to enjoy these tickets. I made a concerted effort to make it more difficult today because all I hear in the back of my head is our boss going, not hard enough, Dan. It's not difficult enough. You got to make it harder.
You gave.
So I tried.
Josh, how long was that clip? How long was that little clip of music that we just played there?
The first one was 2 seconds. The longer one was 16. Yeah, 2 seconds. So, yeah.
How much harder can I make it?
I mean, Eric, we're making it no harder for you. You are winning these tickets to the Lady A, the Chicks, Tim McGraw, right here at Target Field. Scott, Linda, Travis, and Emily, all thwarted by your expertise. How's it feel, Eric?
Great. We'll take it. Thank you so much.
Have you seen a show at Target Field before?
I have.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is great, isn't it? I think the sound is very good here at Target Field. The vibes are good. Like, this is going to be a fun day at Target Field. Are you more Lady A, more the Chicks, or more Tim McGraw?
I think I'm a little of everything.
Yeah. Perfect. Well,
Good answer.
It's going to be a nice Sunday. For sure. The Twins will be on the road in San Diego, so Target Field will be ready to rock for the Pawn Shop Guitar Tour, and you're going for free. 2 tickets coming your way. Who are you bringing with you?
Jeez, probably my wife, but I don't know if she loves them, so we'll see.
Yeah. Honestly, you got a week to try to see if your wife deserves it, you know? Eric, I'm so glad you won. Congratulations. Stay on the line. Josh will get all your information. We'll get those tickets emailed out to you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Pretty cool. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show. There goes Eric. We'll do this again tomorrow. Dan will maybe make it a little harder.
I mean, I tried to go down the list of hit Lady A songs so that it wasn't like super obvious.
Right.
Nice little short clip that wasn't the lead up to the hook.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else I can do. But I know that our boss is going to be thoroughly disappointed in me.
It could be a little, maybe even shorter.
I guess, right?
Maybe even shorter.
What do I do, like a second and a half or something? Or?
I think you're giving the people too much.
I guess.
Earlier today, my wife texted me one of the absolute. There are 2 things she could have texted me that would have made me happy when I'm coming to work. Get your mind out of the gutter. One could have been, do you want to meet at the Minneapolis Club tonight? Go to Charlie's, sit at the patio, go to the bar. Anybody can do that. We're members, but you can go and hang out at that bar too, and that patio especially. Awesome. That would have been good. Second thing she texted, the thing she did text is BLTs tonight.
Ooh.
Where are you on the BLT?
Hold the L and the T, and I love it.
Josh, are you a BLT fan? Oh, Josh.
No, I got you. It depends. It has to be. It can't be too dry. You have to have a little bit of a.
Wait, you need the mayo.
Josh is very particular.
Yeah.
You need the mayo.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not generally a mayo guy. I'm an aioli guy.
Disgusting.
Fancier.
What is wrong with you?
You're pro mayo?
Yeah.
Me? Cook is
I love,
a no.
I love
on
the
mayo.
unhealthy life. You know me.
Mayo's disgusting.
Mayo is a must on a BLT. You need the mayo. And here's the other thing for me, Josh. BLT sandwich needs white bread. You need white bread. Maybe you have a BLT. What? 651-461-9226. What are the ingredients for the perfect BLT? Because this is go time. Like if you're at the farmers markets this weekend, tomatoes are everywhere. And a crappy tomato ruins a BLT. I would say out of season, don't even bother. Why even bothering with the BLT? Don't. Now it's go time for tomatoes. So that's beautiful.
The perfect ingredients for a BLT are bacon, and then bacon, and then more bacon.
What kind of bread? Josh, you're a no on white bread?
I'm a wheat guy, wheat bread. Also, you can't really do a
Not a
BLT right
BLT.
now. Kind of a
That's-
sour time to do the BLT thing because not a lot of people buying lettuce.
Well, you don't want that diarrhea lettuce. So
Yeah.
Get over it. I tell you, this country has gone soft. Bunch of pansies. Everybody's like, oh, no, I'm going to get explosive diarrhea. I can't buy lettuce. Grow a pair. Why are we so afraid of a little
I think
explosive?
that's what got you to the diarrhea lettuce in the first place. Was good.
A little explosive diarrhea.
No lettuce.
I was just in Mexico.
Yeah,
Okay?
how'd that go for you?
I mean,
thank you, Mr. Montezuma.
I'm glad it's over, but like it's not. It didn't stop me from like enjoying a delicious street taco. You know,
like that's what got you in trouble in the first place. So
maybe, who knows? Texter say the perfect thing for BLT is sourdough bread. Another texter,
right.
BLT tastes like summer. That's right. I think BLT, it just gives me joy. And I never have white bread. I also find white bread to be sort of a waste of bread. White bread, maybe for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you're a child. But then white bread is the correct
There's
bread for a
the
BLT.
ageist
I'm
again.
sorry. Yeah. My friend Dan just texted me and he said, fire Josh.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry,
Time will tell.
Josh.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
I need some days off. Don't fire Josh.
Yeah. You and every other producer on this station.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Texters say I'm willing to risk explosive diarrhea on a BLT. That's why they make Depends, folks. Exactly. This is maybe now. Have you considered perhaps I'm just angling for my next endorsement?
Jason DeRusha here for Depends.
Hey.
Did you have some lettuce this week? Let me tell you what you need to do.
Right. I don't know. I think it's an option. Another texter says blot, B-L-O-T, bacon, lettuce, onion, tomato. I've never had the blot.
Yeah.
Now,
So shock you, neither have I.
I'm not opposed to a slice of onion.
I'm vehemently opposed.
You don't like onion?
Nope.
Texter says, don't talk to Dan Cook about food. Talk to another third grader.
They're not wrong.
BLT on white bread and Miracle Whip. Yes.
Oh,
Texter says, Dan, just eat your pizzas. Stop.
I'm not telling anybody else that they can't have whatever they want. I'm just saying, for me, no. I'm
Now,
out.
I also like the blat. Are you familiar with the blat? Can you guess what the A is
Didn't
for?
he play third base for the Royals back in 1984?
That's Brett. You're
Oh,
thinking
I'm sorry.
Yeah. The blat is bacon, lettuce, avocado.
Oh, come on. Is there a more millennial text than that?
You know, like I, of course, am the Gen Xer who's like the millennial wannabe,
Yes.
right? I'm riding my scooter.
Yes.
Oh, just wait.
Bathing in avocado.
Got to have pepper ground from the peppercorn, says a texture. Also correct. You need that crunch sound, that comes from that freshly ground pepper.
I hate to say this, but when you do have freshly ground salt or pepper, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
You can absolutely taste it.
It is disappointing, right? You'd like it, but it's because it's like a little coarse. I think you get a little more of the flavor.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. Homemade sourdough. Homemade, I will allow sourdough. I will allow sourdough bread on your bacon, lettuce, and tomato. I'll allow it. Wheat, to me, is
You're so generous.
unnecessarily like you're pretending to be healthy, but you're not. Like, get over it. Wheat Nation, you guys are preposterous. Preposterous.
What are the gluten-sensitive people supposed to do?
Oh, who cares? Haven't we kowtowed enough to gluten-sensitive people? Now, if you really got the celiac, different deal.
Of course.
I'm talking about your whiny fitness mom. You know who you
Oh,
are.
we know.
You know who you are.
We know.
Gluten's sensitive. No, what you do is back when I was on the South Beach diet. Did you ever do the South Beach diet? Remember
This will
that
shock
craze?
you, but no.
No, that craze. I used to have. I had burgers on like lettuce buns. Move. Texture says you got to get the blah. Bacon, lettuce, avocado, no tomato. The blah, that is quite funny.
That's clever. Yes, I'll give him clever.
White bread, Jan has it right. This is exactly right, Jan. White bread, toasted a little, Miracle Whip, tomatoes, lettuce, and a lot of bacon. That's right. That's right. All right, it's 5:49. BLT talk. Why not? We'll have a little Vikings quarterback talk when we come back. The Vikings made their choice. Knock me over with a feather. You can't believe who the QB1 is going to be for the Minnesota Vikings when we come back.
Smart talk.
I think the U.S. government should ban social media for kids under 16.
Sharp opinions.
What the heck is going on in St. Paul? This whole deal with Mayor Herr just gets weirder by the minute.
Sharp hosts.
Donate the Dodgers. Change the damn system.
Solid Minnesota.
And it's our water supplies that are under attack. It's the people. And this freaking president of the United States is using this as a way to dunk on a politician that he doesn't like.
Yeah, some may post great quotes. Here, we drop them live. Minnesota's radio station. News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, Jason back here at Target Field for my friend Chris Lindahl. His arms could stretch from right field to left. And the Chris Lindahl guaranteed cash offer, big red checks. He's giving those out all over Minnesota and western Wisconsin. It's Jason. For my guy, Chris, he's a Minnesotan, he's a Twins fan, and he wants to help solve your real estate dilemmas. When you go to the open market, it is no fun right now. Uncertainty all over the place, mortgage rates stuck right around 7%. Maybe you're patient. Maybe you want to list your house. Maybe you want it to sit on the market for weeks and weeks and weeks. Take a price cut here, have an open house there, all of this. Or maybe you want an easier way. The guaranteed cash offer is that path. More and more Minnesotans saying yes because they want to give the stress to somebody else. They want to give the uncertainty to somebody else. Chris Lindahl says, my arms are open, baby. Let's bring it on. See if it makes sense to you. If you're planning on listing your home, before you list, I want you to call Chris or go to the website. Chris, K-R-I-S, Lindahl.com.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 218-210-0674 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. Call 218-210-0674 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 218-210-0674 for fast, easy, and affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 218-210-0674.
And Doug.
Hot dog, get your hot dog.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn!
popcorn. Get your popcorn.
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sometimes it feels like the news is full of things that have never happened before, and that is not exactly true. In fact, it may have happened this very week, hundreds or thousands of years ago. I'm Sally Helm, host of the podcast History This Week from the History Channel. Trade embargoes? Thomas Jefferson tried them. Rent too high? We've been arguing about that for a while. Each episode is proof. The past isn't that far away. Listen to History This Week, available now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Rush working out West 94 past 169 off the left shoulder. Traffic is slow as you make way toward 169. Slowdowns place 35W southbound. No big surprise. 106th Street down to Highway 13. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Launchpad Golf, the Meadows in Prior Lake is your family and friends hangout. Chef-driven menu, in-range shot tracking tech, and golf every weekday with the Summer Players Card for one payment of just $199. Book your suite tonight at launchpadgolf.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Launchpad Golf, the Meadows. I was just there this weekend. It was so fun. They bring us the weather forecast tonight. It's hot right now. First pitch is going to be 86 degrees at Target Field. Low is 70 tomorrow. Repeated today, 86. Thursday, the humidity starts to skip down, high of 83. Right now, the dew point is 68. It is sticky on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
Fundamentally, a non-traditional approach to talking about, learning about, and exploring the day's news.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Well, the quarterback competition is over. Was there ever a real competition?
No.
I don't think
No.
so. Kyler Murray named the QB1, the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. And J.J. McCarthy is now the backup. Max Brosmer still on the squad as the backup. Carson Wentz.
Likely is your number 3. Max Brosmer, we'll see.
Probably.
But
well, what happens to J.J., right?
Yeah.
This is an inflection point that I think a lot of us can't imagine what it's like. You were the guy, and then you're benched and you're invited to be the backup. It's tough. It's tough. And there are quarterbacks who have come back from that and excel. There are quarterbacks like Sam Darnold that went to other teams and excel. So we'll see which path it is. I think it's sort of a no-brainer, right?
I think it is too. I mean, I never
JJ
bought the idea that there was a competition. What
Yeah.
concerns me a little bit is I wonder if there's a certain amount of panic in that from everything that I've read, neither of these guys has distinguished themselves as clearly the guy.
Right.
And I think the concern is if they don't start giving Kyler all the number 1 reps right now, he's not going to be fully ready come start of the season. And I think that should give fans a little bit of cause for concern.
The other question is, does JJ get traded? This is KOC quarterback whisperer. Can he do it with Kyler? We'll see. Lots to watch for. Vikings, it's always fun. It's always fun, that's for sure. Target Field, time check, Continental Diamond. It's 5:57. Here comes pregame. We'll see you tomorrow.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help